I'm Doug Brown with breaking news from the Olympics. At the half in a men's basketball semifinal, Serbia leads Team USA 54-43. The U.S. trailed by as many as 17. Nikola Jokic with 9 points and 7 assists for Serbia. Steph Curry leads Team USA with 20 in the first half. 100-meter gold medalist Noah Lyles settles for bronze today in the 200 meters. After the race, Lyles told NBC he tested positive for COVID on Tuesday. Another American, Kenny Bednarik, takes silver in the 200. Sydney McLaughlin-Levrone wins gold in the 400 hurdles, breaking her own world record time. She's the first woman to win 2 Olympic golds in that event. American Anna Cockrell takes silver. And Grant Holloway wins gold in the 110-meter hurdles. Another American, Daniel Roberts, takes silver. Quarterback Nick Foles will retire from the NFL after 11 years. At the Eagles' home opener, Foles was the MVP of Super Bowl 52 in a win over the Patriots.
Here's one stat that's super simple to remember. Discover automatically doubles the cash back on your credit card at the end of your first year with Cashback Match. With Discover, you could turn $150 cash back to $300. See terms at discover.com/credit card.
Matt Moscona.
I'm very important.
After further review.
Say it one more time.
After further review with Matt Moscona.
And here we go.
Live from the Mercedes-Benz of Baton Rouge Studios.
That's right.
And off we go. Welcome aboard. Glad you're with us. It's AFR. I'm Matt.
You're a loser, Matt!
Hey, shut up, kid. Taylor Sharp.
Every girl crazy about it, shine as me.
Yusuf. And Mr. Toby Tomplay. All right, we're here. Glad you are as well. Get out there, make it a good one. Tigers land a 4-star safety. Eddie Kennison's here next hour. Ross Jackson from Irvine in hour 3. Fred LeBlanc from a little band called Cowboy Mouth will be here as well. But let us begin as we do every single day.
It's time to pop the top on another edition of AFR with Bud Light. Drink easy.
Well, the Saints got the day started off on Thursday with a little bit of contract news. Pete Werner, Saints linebacker, in the final year of his rookie deal, has agreed to a 3-year, $25 million extension. Adam Schefter had the news first, and I really like this decision by the New Orleans Saints to do this now. We can talk about Werner. I'm going to talk about Werner, the player, but I want to talk about the timing first and the contract itself. So, a couple of things. In making this decision to extend Pete Werner now, going into the final year of his rookie deal, you are essentially not risking happen again what happened with Marcus Williams. You drafted Marcus Williams. He was a starter for you. He was a really good player. And he goes into free agency. You franchise tag him. And then he hits free agency. You can't agree on terms. And then he ends up with the Baltimore Ravens. So you effectively overpay for a season and then lose the player anyway. With Pete Werner, obviously, you weren't going to franchise tag Pete Werner after the season. The entirety of the contract you just gave him is $25 million. The franchise tag number for linebackers this year was over $24 million. So you weren't going to pay him that for one season. So if you let him play out this season and then make the decision after the year to sign him, or if you were going to sign him, there's always the possibility that you go into the offseason or into the season, Pete Werner has a great year, and then you end up paying more at the end of the season than you would have right now. So you're effectively saying, yes, we're taking a risk by paying you now because there's always the possibility the season could not go great for you. But there's also the possibility the other side of that, he has a great season. So it's managing risk like anything else in life. Like, what are you willing to pay for anything? What are you willing to risk for something? So that's where this comes in with Pete Werner. And when you look at the NFL linebacker contracts, the $8 million a year thereabout that he's going to make, when you look at the average per year annual value for linebackers, that puts him pretty competitively where you would think he should be. I mean, Roquan Smith is getting $20 million a year, but if you look at like C.J. Mosley and Demario Davis, they're each at 8.625. I mean, Pete Werner's getting just under that, so he's going to be smack dab in that range with guys like Levante David at 8.5 and Dre Greenlaw of the Niners, who's at 8.2. So this feels like a really good deal for the New Orleans Saints on a starting player, a guy who in 3 seasons has started 35 games for you. This is an affordable contract. You're not running the risk of losing him in free agency next year. So I like it. I like the way they do it. We'll see how with the new deal, how it's structured for this season, what it does. The Saints went into today with, about $14 million thereabouts in salary caps. Werner was set to count $1.8 million against the cap this year. So we'll see all the particulars about the deal and see what it means for this year and beyond. But we know one thing about the Saints. They'll manipulate numbers to make it work however they do. So there's just a couple of questions, and then we'll talk about Pete Werner, the player. One question very clearly is, how much longer is Demario Davis going to play? And that's a big part of this as well. I mean, Demario Davis has missed 1 game in his entire career due to injury. 1 game in his entire career, none due to injury. The only game he's ever missed in his career was due to COVID. And he continues to be an incredibly productive player for the Saints and one of the best linebackers in the NFL. I mean, this past year, he started all 17 games, had 121 tackles, which, by the way, was the second highest total of his entire career. You'd have to go back to his season with the Jets where he had 135. Think about that. The 121 tackles Demario Davis had this past season was the second most of his career. He's only getting better as he's in his mid-30s. He's certainly showing no sign of regression, but how much longer does he want to play? And then you also signed Willie Gay this offseason to a 1-year deal, so you're going to see how this season plays out and then determine if you're going to extend Willie Gay to any type of long-term deal. But you've at least locked up Pete Werner now for the next 3 years, and you would assume that at some point over the next 3 years, Demario Davis's career probably comes to an end. I mean, maybe not with the way he's playing, the level at which he's playing, but for a guy that is 35 years old right now, you'll be 36 in January. You wonder, is Demario Davis going to play linebacker until he's 40? Probably not. So, Pete Werner, this contract probably outlasts Demario Davis. And then, obviously, there's the Willie Gay question. Do you re-sign Willie Gay, and what does that mean for your linebacker room? Because if he leaves and at some point Demario Davis retires, you've at least now built some stability at that position moving forward. Dennis Allen, who's the head coach, of course, and also manages the defense, talked about the decision to extend Pete Werner.
Up until the injury, I think he was performing at a really high level, and I think Pete's a guy that's going to be, a cornerstone piece for our defense as we move forward. Yeah, it's good to get a guy that you feel good about, that stands for all the things that you believe in and the way that we want to play football, and to be able to, lock one of those guys up for the future is good.
And one more from DA. He was asked about Werner, who's had a really good camp. You heard him mention it there until the injury that's kept him out just a little bit here, but he was having a really good camp until then. Did that sort of lock up their decision to extend him?
I think it's a combination of a lot of things, right? I mean, Pete's played good football for us. So it's not like he didn't play good football for us last year. Would we have liked for it to maybe have been a little bit better? I think both of us would say, man, there's some areas that we can improve on, right? But we brought in, a guy like Willie Gay to come in and compete. I don't think that's any different than any other position. When we have good players and we have a chance to bring them in, we let them come in and we let them compete. And I think Pete responded well. So I don't know that it's necessarily because of the way that he responded. I think that was something that we would have been interested in doing regardless.
2 things. Number one, Pete Werner has been a productive player when he's been on the field, but he has faced injuries each of his NFL seasons. That probably ticks down his value a smidge. Had 62 tackles in his rookie season, 80 in his second year, 93 a year ago. So you've continued to see his productivity increase, but he has missed 8 games throughout his career, through 3 seasons. He missed 2 games as a rookie. He missed 5 games in 2022, and then missed just 1 game a year ago. But he has missed time each of his 3 NFL seasons, so that's something worth filing away. But when Pete Werner's been on the field, it's undeniable. He's been a very productive player for you. It's a guy that the Saints were interested in investing in to keep as part of this organization as they move through whatever the next phase of that defense will look like. So Pete Werner, 3-year extension, staying with the New Orleans Saints. All right, y'all, it's After Further Review. Our show open every day is brought to you by Bud Light. Drink easy in Louisiana with the great taste of Bud Light. Hey, we're going to have some great stuff coming up. Tigers are going to be playing in Vegas. We'll have some great promotions to tell you about with our friends over at Bud Light as we lead up to that game. It's, a little more than 3 weeks away right now. But whether you're watching the Tigers, the Saints this weekend, with Saints playing the Arizona Cardinals, or watching NFL football tonight, you got a few preseason games. Malik Neighbors makes his preseason debut tonight. Make sure you got plenty of ice-cold Bud Light, the official beer of AFR, the official beer of the New Orleans Saints, the official beer of the LSU Tigers. Drink easy with the great taste of Bud Light, the official beer of AFR. Okay, it's After Further Review. We're glad you're hanging out with us here in this Thursday edition. Eddie Kennison to start hour number 2. With the LSU having the day off today, wanted to take some time now to sort of revisit what we know so far through 6 practices. And one of the things I think that we all agree on is, man, LSU, despite losing Brian Thomas, Malik Neighbors, they're still really good at receiver. I want to chop that up a little bit with Eddie Kennison, former Tiger great, former first-round pick. We'll do that coming up here at the start of hour number 2. Speaking of the Tigers, LSU, even though they took the day off on Thursday, they got better for the future. CJ Jim Coyley, 4-star safety, as we expected, picked the Tigers. We'll talk about it next on AFR.
AFR.
AFR is brought to you by Action Industries, proud partner of LSU Athletics, actioninc.com. It's Action Industries Incorporated. You get to the website, you can get to their LinkedIn, you can learn more about Action Industries and all that they do. Hey, I want to remind you, of course, if you are a maintenance manager, turnaround coordinator in one of those plants, you got to check out Action Industries if you don't already know about them. They're a Louisiana company. It's been around for 42 years, since 1982. You can learn about all the different things that they offer there as an industrial contractor. On top of that, they offer fabrication shop services, pipe, structural steel, pressure vessels. They even do food-grade fabrication. One of the largest coffee brands in the world uses Action Industries. Look, if maybe you're a plant that's has one of these mega projects going on and you need a supplemental workforce, Action can help supplement one of those other contractors as well. Learn more at Action Industries online. Action Industries, a proud partner of LSU Athletics.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals. But many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
Gulf Coast Office Products is a nationally recognized Savin office equipment dealer based right here in Louisiana. Over 100 employees strong, Gulf Coast has the boots on the ground to support all vertical markets, from education, engineering, legal, and finance. With the latest in office technology, from desktop to production segment units, Gulf Coast and Savin have the perfect fit for you. Call 225-756-2644. That's 756-2644 for Gulf Coast Office Products.
There it is, the extra mile, on the border of expected and extraordinary, for those willing to go further, like vans customized for work or play, with safety and tech to keep you connected, supported by a 5-star sales, service, and finance team, and backed by the 1-star you know. So go the extra mile. It's never crowded, because so few have what it takes to go there. Mercedes-Benz Vans.
Farming is a way of life for us. It's not something we get up in the morning and dread going do. It's just something we go to bed at night looking forward to getting up to go do. John Deere equipment is what we as farmers strive to have. So it's in your blood, it's in your veins. It's just a part of who you are. Green is what we want to be in. The other tractors were acquired to patch it up to get to where you want to be. Where we want to be is in John Deere. Flip the switch and learn more about what it means to be powered by sunshine at sunequip.com.
Shout at me like I was born a fool. You speak of love and scream of love. Now dare to treat me cruel. Nothing's fair in love and war, so please let's make some rules. There's a little boy who's...
After further review with Matt Moscona.
Fred LeBlanc, Cowboy Mouth will be here in an hour and 15 minutes. Cowboy Mouth playing show with our sister station, Eagle 98.1, Friday out at the Texas Club in Baton Rouge. Muse, did you listen? You had an assignment. I wanted a written report, 12-point font, single space, 2 pages on Cowboy Mouth. I didn't see it on my desk today.
Yeah, I didn't do that. The days of homework are done and have been for some time. But, look, we're going to cycle through some of the songs that you sent me here for bump music. I like this one. Good upbeat, good vibe. I'm in for it.
Are you willfully not doing your assignment?
Yeah, I think I said that right off the top there.
Well, if you don't do an assignment, you're going to get a 0. And then eventually, you're going to be suspended. And then if I have to hold you back, you're expelled. Because I don't hold people back here.
Days off?
Suspension? We are unpaid. Thinking about it now, aren't you?
You throw that in there. I mean,
thinking about that a little. This is an unpaid suspension. Taylor doesn't know Cowboy Mouth either. So disappointing. I'm not mad at you. I'm just disappointed.
Oh, yeah. But, see, you're not our parents, so that's not as bad. That's really bad when your parents say that.
I am your boss.
Yeah, but it's not the same.
Okay. Taylor, nothing ever? No Cowboy Mouth ever? Never even heard of him?
That's what I was telling you. Like this and Pete Sampras are my biggest blind spots.
I don't think those are your only blind spots there, friend.
No, my biggest.
Do you think Pete Sampras and Cowboy Mouth are your two? I wouldn't even say those are comparable. Like, I mean, Pete Sampras won Wimbledon like 6 times. That's insane that neither of you know who Pete Sampras is. That is fundamentally absurd that you work at a sports station, don't even know the name. Thank you. You can kill him. I don't need you to tell me every match he's ever played, but that you've never heard the name is just fundamentally absurd to me. That doesn't even compute in my brain. Like, I know who Ivan Lendl was. I can look back 30 years before I was aware and know, or 20 years before I was aware and know who was great. John McEnroe, Jimmy Connors. I mean, great players. Anyway, all right, it's after further review. We're glad to have you aboard. Anyway, so Fred LeBlanc will be with us here in a little more than an hour. There's a lot of people who I know are very excited about that. LSU had the day off on Thursday, but they got better for the future. This was expected, but made it official. 4-star defensive back out of Nashville, C.J. Jim Coyley, picked LSU over Stanford. That was the other finalist. I know that sounds weird. Like, you don't typically have an LSU-Stanford battle an awful lot in recruiting, but it's kind of what this came down to. But make no mistake, C.J. Jim Coyley had offers from, like, everybody. He's from Nashville. He had the Tennessee offer. He had an offer from Alabama. I mean, you can go down the list, which is a very, very long and distinguished list. Oklahoma, Louisville, Auburn, Michigan, Penn State, Missouri, Kentucky, Ole Miss, Arkansas, Michigan State, Texas A&M, Miami, Georgia Tech, Nebraska, Florida, Maryland, and North Carolina, Virginia Tech, Purdue, Duke, Indiana. There's a whole nother page here that I'm not even going to bother to click on because I think you get the point. The point is C.J. Jim Coyley is a highly regarded guy, 6'3", 210, out of Lipscomb Academy in Nashville. LSU's looking at playing him at the star position as he starts his career in Baton Rouge and Blake Baker's defense. That's where Major Burns is playing right now. That's where we've seen Juwan Johnson, the freshman, lining up right now as well. There's a couple of things about this that I think are really significant. One of them is the fact that Jake Olson and Frank Wilson took the lead here. And it's important because of Frank Wilson, because even though Jim Coyley's from Nashville, his dad is from New Orleans. And the tie with Frank Wilson is one of the things that got this, made this really sort of like a warm lead for LSU. Jim Coyley, after committing, told On3, the coaching staff and the environment at LSU felt like family. In Louisiana, it's different. My dad is from Louisiana. I have family there, and that's how the people are in that state. It's a big family in Louisiana. The people at LSU that recruited me made me feel that way. That feeling was different from anywhere else. He also said, specifically about, when we talk about Frank Wilson, he specifically mentioned how his dad was at O. Perry Walker when Frank Wilson was the coach and how big of a deal that was, and how the two of them talked and communicated throughout this process. Like, Frank Wilson continues to be a huge factor in LSU landing players not only in New Orleans, but in this case, with family member from the New Orleans area. Here's the quote that CJ Jim Coyley gave on 3. He said, when we talked to Coach Frank, that was a highlight for us for a lot of reasons. My dad went to O.P. Walker when Wilson was there as a coach. My grandmother still lives in New Orleans, so we still have a lot of uncles and cousins there. The LSU visit, it was like being around home. And when we met Coach Frank, that was one of my longest talks. So over and over again, you continue to see why Frank Wilson has so much incredible value, not only the staff as a great coach, but in building the roster as a recruiting coordinator. And it was one of the first hires Brian Kelly made and continues to be one of the most fruitful and impactful hires. So that's part of it. Number 2, obviously, you beat out Bama and Tennessee, among others. But among the finalists, it was LSU, Stanford, Bama, Tennessee. And when you're going toe-to-toe with big-time schools in your conference and you beat them, you understand why that's significant. And also for the reason we talk about here from time to time, which is if you're going to think of it on the flip side. We always talk about how you never want to lose a player, an in-state player, to a conference opponent because you never want to see him again, right? Like what we talked about the late Joe McKnight. When he went to USC, that sucked, but he was on the West Coast, so you never saw him again. When Devontae Smith went to Alabama, that sucked because you had to play him every year. When Cedric Van Pran went to Georgia, that sucked because you were trying to figure out your offensive line, and this was a stud playing in your conference. So now you turned the trick on Tennessee. That's a kid from the state of Tennessee. You played high school football in Nashville. Tennessee was a finalist. You went in there and you beat out Tennessee for CJ Jim Coyley. It's another reason that's big. And look, the other part of rebuilding DBU, of course, you've got to coach these players up. You got to get them to play better. And Corey Raymond is doing that, and I think Jake Olson's doing that. They're going to be better because they're going to be fundamentally sound and just better players. But you also have to close that gap with talent. And the talent hasn't been here in a couple of years now. And you can start to see how they're fixing that. If you heard our practice report on Wednesday, one of the things I noticed when LSU was going scout defense, or I guess they were going scout, they were playing the first, second, 13 defense against the scout offense. But one of the things I noticed when LSU was lining up its defense, there were 3 true freshmen in the secondary on the 2 deep. When LSU's second defense was out there, Juwan Johnson, Deshaun Spears, P.J. Woodland, 3 true freshmen in the secondary that were all out there running on the 2 deep. I mean, just think about, they are just forcing their young players onto the field because their young players are better than what they've had. And look at what you have coming up. DJ Pickett, 5-star, number 1 corner in the country. Now you get CJ Jim Coyley, a high 4-star, who I'd offer from everybody. Jace Thomas, a kid from Destrehan, they're very high on. You have a hat on the table for Jonah Williams, the number 1 safety in America. You also are a finalist for Bryce Fitzgerald, who's going to be out of Florida, who's going to be announcing next week on the 17th. So Bryce Fitzgerald on the 17th, Jonah Williams on the 24th. You may even further continue to stockpile talent in this secondary in the next 2 weeks on top of Jim Coyley and DJ Pickett, who you already have. So we expected when Corey Raymond was rehired that LSU was going to be fruitful in recruiting again, that they were going to load up the coffers and be very talent-rich again. And very quickly, you're starting to see that. And they're not even done yet for 2025, and certainly just getting started for 2026. So CJ Jim Coyley picks the LSU Tigers. We had Shea Dixon on with us earlier this week, and we asked Shea about Jim Coyley. Here's what he said.
We're talking about a kid who's 6'3", 210, so massive safety.
Wow.
But he had told me a month ago this was coming down to LSU or Stanford, and we don't see that battle much. Jim Coyley said, look, my parents were blown away on the Stanford official visit, and my dad's from New Orleans, and they said when it comes to family discussions about my recruitment, my mom doesn't really need my dad to chime in because my dad's from New Orleans and wants me to go to LSU. So I think she wanted to see what did academics and football look like at LSU, and that official visit was at the end of June. So it is lining up for LSU to get another 4-star here at safety end.
And they did. And for LSU now, after getting C.J. Jim Coyley, that makes 20 commitments for the class of 2025, the third-ranked class nationally, second in the SEC, and they're continuing to build. C.J. Jim Coyley in this class adds beyond 5 stars like Bryce Underwood, DJ Pickett, Derek Meadows, Harlem Berry, and they just continue to build an incredibly impressive class. As much as we talk about this team and this program recruiting Louisiana, sometimes it's worth going out of the state when you're talking about elite-level prospects, and C.J. Jim Coyley certainly qualifies. Okay, it's After Further Review. We're glad to have you hanging out with us here. We're brought to you by First South Farm Credit, firstsouthland.com, firstsouthland.com. If you are thinking about buying land, your first call should be to First South Farm Credit. Your first call, your first option, your first online visit should be to First South Farm Credit. So go to firstsouthland.com. That's firstsouthland.com. And I know I mentioned this before, but if you borrow money, how often do you ever have a lender write you a check? Well, at First South Farm Credit, they've done that for 29 consecutive years. First South Farm Credit, firstsouthland.com. It's a patronage refund. Because they're a cooperative, they share their profits with their borrowers, so that means it effectively lowers your cost of borrowing. It's First South Farm Credit. Go to firstsouthland.com. Your first call should be to First South Farm Credit, firstsouthland.com. All right, y'all, it's After Further Review. Glad to have you hanging out with us here. Keeping an eye on the U.S. and Serbia in basketball. There's under 8 minutes to play in that ball game right now, and the good guys are trailing by 11. So 7:50 to go. It's 78-67. Jokovic and Serbia, they had an 11-point lead at half. The U.S. kind of cut into that lead, but now approaching the 7-minute mark of the ball game, and the U.S. has some work to do. We'll see if they can get it done down the stretch. We'll keep you posted there. Okay, it's After Further Review. We're glad you're with us. Former Tiger Eddie Kennison about 33 minutes from right now. Fred LeBlanc, the band Cowboy Mouth, here next hour as well. Ross Jackson in his spot in hour 3 as we'll get a Saints practice report recap and start to look ahead to Saturday's game against the Arizona Cardinals. It's After Further Review. Stick around.
AFR.
Man, I love telling you about Glow Resources. And I love telling you about Glow Resources because they're a great business that helps businesses be more productive. If you're struggling to find people, the right people, and that's costing you productivity, time, and money, you need Glow Resources. Check them out online at glowresources.com, G-L-O, glowresources.com. Not only are they based in Baton Rouge, but, yes, they're headquartered in Baton Rouge, but Glow Resources has offices all over the country, and they fill roles and jobs for companies all over the world. So don't be confined to just Baton Rouge. They're certainly great at finding that skilled blue-collar labor, but at Glow Resources, they also have a professional placement division. Effectively, any office job you're trying to fill, they can help. It's Glow Resources. Check them out online at glowresources.com. And one of the things, man, they got a great culture and they're fun to work with. They're online at glowresources.com.
Gulf Coast Bank and Trust is giving our customers the power to bank anywhere, anytime during this challenging event. And we're right there with you. Our mobile banking app is a smart way to manage your money and time. Gulf Coast Bank and Trust, the bank that cares about you.
BRAC teamed up to reimagine your parks, and you imagined big. With your help, we went to work, creating 12 beautiful community parks across the parish. A family-sized water park, miles and miles of trails, and parks just for your dogs. There are more places to splash, to explore, to run wild, and even soar. You imagined, we delivered. Gold. BRAC, your #1 park system in the nation.
is, the extra mile, on the border of expected and extraordinary, for those willing to go further, like vans customized for work or play, with safety and tech to keep you connected. Supported by a 5-star sales, service, and finance team, and backed by the 1-star you know. So go the extra mile. It's never crowded, because so few have what it takes to go there. Mercedes-Benz Vans.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals, but many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
Dylan Cruz here to tell you about Six Rings Baseball and Softball Camp. If you live on the North Shore and play ball, go to Six Rings Camps with former LSU assistant coach Dan Canaveri. His knowledge is second to none, and your child will improve and have fun doing it. Camps were held at Coquille Park and Six Rings Academy in Covington with 4 sessions over the summer. Full day and morning only sessions are available from ages 7 to 13. Go to sixringsbaseball.com or call 985-206-9096. Learn the game to love the game.
Trying to call you on a public phone. I wanted passion, I wanted desire.
After further review with Matt Moscona.
Rev delivers our coverage live from Las Vegas starting Friday, August 30th with Off the Bench, and after further review and continuing Sunday, September 1st with Eagle 98.1 Game Day. Our coverage is also presented by Goodwood Men's Sexual Wellness. Watch us live on the 104.5 ESPN YouTube channel to kick off the 2024 LSU football season live from Las Vegas with Rev and 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
Cowboy Mouth Count today. Fred LeBlanc, 1 hour from right now. Crank that up, Muse. What do you think of this one? It's called Light It on Fire. We're introducing Muse and Taylor to Cowboy Mouth because they've never heard of them.
I'm into this one.
What do you think, Taylor?
I like it. It's almost got a country vibe to this one.
Shut up, Taylor.
A little bit.
Now I know why T-Bob tells you to shut up all the time. You kidding me? If you ever disrespect Cowboy Mouth by calling him country again,
no, I
punch
just
you in the face.
vibe.
I'll suspend you along with Muso.
They do have Cowboy in their name.
Suspension. So?
I mean, Cowboy's pretty country.
Okay, what's your point?
I'm just saying. Like, if nobody knew and you told them the name of the band was Cowboy Mouth, they might make that assumption.
I would think it was a country band.
Yeah.
Just shut up. I'm watching the U.S. lose to Serbia.
Please no Serbia.
All right, Embiid just scored. All right, they got it to 5. It was 5. Looked like the U.S. had forced a Serbian turnover. I don't know what the international refs were thinking. LeBron threw a ball off of Jokic. It went out of bounds. They said it was off LeBron. Stupid. Serbia ended up hitting a shot to make it 7. U.S. just got another bucket to make it 5. And now Jokic doing his Jokic thing, and he missed, and they get an offensive rebound. Gosh, dog it. I'm going all Jimmy out right here.
You are.
Play-by-play.
You are.
I know. But Muse, what do we always say on the show about the Olympics? That's a miss. Get the right. Yeah.
It's we're only into it so we can watch America's whip foreigners behinds.
That was a third chance shot. Like Joel Embiid just couldn't hang on to an offensive rebound, and then Jokic got the easiest putback ever. So it's 7.
Fire Steve Kerr.
Like, they can't. Embiid just got an and one. Like, they can't stop. I'm amazed at this point that the Americans only have 77 points because Serbia can't get a stop now. It's like whenever the Americans lock in, they're awesome. But, like, you just, like, piddle around. I haven't been watching this whole game. But anyway, if we lose, I'm going to be pissed because, like, I only care about the Olympics for one thing, to whip foreigners. It's the U.S. I don't care about it. Well, I love basketball, of course, but like, I don't care about international basketball. I just care about the U.S. winning in everything all the time. And if we lose to Serbia because they have one stinking player, I'm going to be so pissed off.
15.5-point favorites of the United States in this game.
It's a 4-point game right now. It's 450 to play. There's a lifetime to play in this game, and it's a 4-point game. You just got to string together a couple of stops here. What are we doing? Let Jokic back down Durant. Oh, it's LeBron. LeBron's on Jokic.
Did he just foul him?
They called him foul. Yeah,
he did. There you go, LeBron.
That's stupid. I mean, I don't know how this is a foul. I mean, you have a 7-foot giant just slamming his body into a smaller man. You're going to call that a foul? It's just stupid. How's it a foul on LeBron?
He wrapped his arm around his waist. That's what they saw.
He didn't wrap his arm around anything. He threw his elbow into his lower back. He had his right elbow on his back, which is totally legal. Getting all upset now. 3 ball, no good. Get the rebound!
There you go. There you go.
Jesus!
3 of their own would help
The
right now.
most intense I've been about the Olympics in the 18 weeks that the Olympics have been going on. I'm ready for the stupid Olympic stand anyway. Good ball. Was that KD?
That's KD.
No, it was Embiid.
It was Embiid?
All right, 2-point game. All right. We'll go around the SEC here in just a quick second. I know you two losers have never heard of Cowboy Mouth, but you've heard of Jelly Roll, right? Of course you have.
I've heard of Jelly Roll.
Yeah, of course you have. Right, Taylor?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. Words. It's radio.
Yeah, for sure I know Jelly Roll.
Yeah, words help. They can't see you not. Play this. Turn this. What are we doing?
I didn't know you had it going yet.
I'm going to turn off the TV if y'all ain't going to lock in.
I wasn't even looking at the TV.
I'm going to send you to your room. Anyway, so this is the song, by the way, that everybody's going to hate at the end of the college football season.
There's one every year.
This is ESPN's college football theme now for this season. I don't even know what it's called. It's a Jelly Roll song. Do you guys who love Jelly Roll know what it's called?
I don't love Jelly Roll, so I know I don't know what this is.
I know you love Jelly Roll.
I don't, actually.
Whatever.
Not my vibe.
All right, you guys are no help whatsoever. You don't know anything about Cowboy Mouth. You don't know the song about Jelly Roll. You're just watching that game and missing everything all the time. You're no help to me whatsoever.
Looking right at you.
All right, we're tied now. We're tied.
Who's
We're
watching
tied.
the game now?
We're tied. I'm watching
This
the game.
guy.
It's my show. I can do whatever I want. I just need you to help me out and play the damn song when I ask you to play the song.
I'm also finding you the name of it here.
Whatever. It's a Jelly Roll song.
Get By. It's his new single.
Remember the Remember Me for Centuries. Remember
Is that
that had to be
Fall Out Boy.
That had to be the worst one ever.
That was awful.
By the time, and that wasn't a terrible song.
No.
It was just that, like, by the end of the season, whenever that had played on repeat for 5 months, I never wanted to hear that guy yell, "Remember Me for Centuries," ever again.
Brother, by week 3, I was over
I know.
that.
They played it a lot. It almost seemed like
eyes.
it was for 2 seasons. Like, they played that all the time.
Well, they play them all the time. It's just that particular song with the long, drawn-out, high-pitched scream of the "Remember Me" for like that one was just that was brutal.
That's bad.
Have
It
they
was
had
really
any
bad.
good ones?
I mean,
Wasn't there a Imagine Dragons song one time?
Oh, was it Radioactive? It might have
No.
been that. No,
It
it
was
wasn't
not
that.
It wasn't Imagine. This
It
like
wasn't Imagine Dragons.
3 or 4
song?
years ago.
Yeah, I mean that makes sense. They're kind of that vibe that they always look for with that. I don't know. Luke Combs always does the one for the SEC Network.
They have one.
Yeah.
Yeah, this year it's a he just did a cover though of oh god, now I can't remember the song.
That's okay. You can figure it out later.
Running Down a Dream. Tom Petty. He did a cover of that for it.
Really?
Yeah. Yep.
So the first one he made was like for the SEC.
Yes.
It was called South on You, and like he listed out all the SEC teams.
This was like for the on-campus show that SEC does on
Yeah,
Saturday mornings,
and all their
which-
promos that they run.
Oh,
Yeah.
golly.
His cover of Running Down a Dream is actually not that bad. I listened to the full thing. It's actually pretty good.
Damn it.
It's not Tom Petty, but it's pretty good.
Serbia just got a dunk. They're up 2. 86-84 with 3:16 to play. Let's go around the SEC. Hit it, Muse.
Around the SEC, bringing you the biggest news from the nation's best
Embiid,
conference.
you loser!
The Arkansas Razorbacks.
Embiid's driving the left side of the lane, just loses the ball out of bounds. What are we doing? You look like Arkansas right now. You losing everything. Arkansas had a scrimmage and like nobody played. Here's the starters that were injured. Running back Jaquindon Jackson, running back Rashad Dubin, wideouts Andrew Armstrong, Tyrone Bowden, tight end Luke Haas, left guard Patrick Kutas. That's all the injured starters at Arkansas right now, just on offense. On defense, defensive end Anton Jukai, defensive backs Jaheim Singletary, and Marquise Robinson also did not participate. Not
Texas
good.
A&M!
Not good. That is a wide open 3. What are we even? And he missed it. That Serbian sucks. I mean, there was not a player within 15 feet of him. Did you see it?
I didn't see it,
There
no.
wasn't a player within 50. Hit it, Booker. Ball!
Rattles it home, Devin Booker.
Yeah! Oh, that was Steph.
Rattle it home, Steph Curry.
I had the wrong light-skinned guy. My bad. It was Steph. I'm surprised that fell. Woo.
All right, now
we're up.
Pull away now.
We're
here,
up
right?
a point.
Yeah.
Rebound!
Go make another 3.
Go, LeBron! Go, LeBum! Dunk it! Lay it in, yeah! Up 3! Not a babe, LeBum!
He should have dunked it. He
Should have dunked it.
He should have posterized the Serbian.
The one time I'm rooting for LeBum James.
Yeah.
A&M got a commitment from defensive lineman DJ Sanders, the 79th best player in the country, the 8th best defensive lineman in the country. Yeah! Go! Go! Yeah!
No and 1?
Not a babe, Steph! Yeah, you got an and 1. Or did they call timeout?
I don't know. I can't hear the whistle, so I don't know.
We're up 5 now. Steph.
That Denzel?
I think that was Steph's dad. I think that was Del Curry.
It looked like Denzel Washington.
Might have been Denzel, but it looked like Del Curry. Okay. Steph Curry taking over. Rattled home a 3. Steal, transition, bucket. The good guys are up 5 with 1:41 to play. Take that, Serbia! You suck, Serbia!
What Texas A&M do?
They got a commitment from this guy, DJ Sanders, 6'4", 325. Had offers from A&M, Texas, Michigan, Bama, and LSU, and a lot
The
of
Vanderbilt Commodores.
Oh, I got to pull this up. I got to pull this up. So Vanderbilt. Oh, God.
Poor Vanderbilt.
So Vanderbilt teased their new. I don't even follow Vanderbilt on Twitter. I don't even follow Vanderbilt football on Twitter. Hold on. So Vanderbilt put out a video on social media teasing their new threads. Here you go. Can you pull this up, Taylor? Thank you.
Okay.
They're all white, head to toe white. Do you know how many waving the white flag jokes there are just waiting to be told? White helmets, white jerseys, white pants. The letters are gold, trimmed in black, but just all white everywhere. Poor Vanderbilt. I mean, they're just... It's almost a clean look like Saints Color Rush.
Yeah.
Except for the helmet, which the helmet is atrocious. To go like all white like that, you got to give me some type of contrast. But anyway.
They got the stripe on the top, and they got some contrast in the helmet.
Vandy waving the white flag the second they come out of the locker room.
Anchor down.
God, Vanderbilt. All right, we're brought to you by Supper Club, supperclubbtr.com, supperclubbtr.com. You want to go celebrate a U.S. win over Serbia? Let's do it tonight at Supper Club, y'all. Americans are up by 5 right now, and they're getting the ball back. I love this. Let's go. Oh, did they call a foul? They did. Oh, no, they called back. Yes! Yeah, called backcourt violation against Serbia. We got it back. I'm supposed to be talking about Supper Club. And I'm going to lose. USA! Am I going to lose my voice yelling about this Olympic basketball game?
I hope not, because you have 2 hours left to go here. Yeah.
I do. Supper Club's awesome, y'all. Great opportunity here on a Thursday to get the weekend started right. You knock off work. How about you get on by Supper Club right there on Perkins Road? Hey, this football season, if you're going to be making your way into Baton Rouge for games, maybe you're listening outside of Baton Rouge, make sure you make Supper Club part of your Football Friday or Saturday plans around the Saints, Tigers, prep, whatever it may be. SupperClubBTR.com. SupperClubBTR.com is where you can go for reservations. Of course, you can always go to Supper Club and have a prime filet, a great piece of fish, a meal that is affordable in the sense that it would be the same price you pay at any other fine dining restaurant. But if you want the once-in-a-lifetime type experience, you can get that at Supper Club too. You want the $5,000 bottle of Chateau Lafite Rothschild? They got it. You want the Omi beef, which is the 400-year-old farm in Japan that they used to feed to the samurai because they thought it had magical powers? You can get that as well. But you can only get it at Supper Club. SupperClubBTR.com. SupperClubBTR.com. Okay, let's see. It's U.S. are up 5. Oh, is that an and 1? Joel Embiid. And 1.
LeBron just missed a 3 on the other end, too.
Saw that.
Yeah. Why feed the hot-handed Steph Curry? Shoot it myself.
All right, so U.S. up 3. Serbia going to the line with a chance to make it 2. We're approaching the 1-minute mark of this ball game right now in Paris. And, you can't lose this team. They don't even spell their name right on their jersey.
What do you mean?
Serbija.
Yeah, that's.
They don't even know how to spell their own country.
They don't.
That's pitiful. Like, how do you show up at the Olympics and the name of your country's misspelled on the jersey?
Yeah.
Idiots. I mean, what, you don't have spell check?
No.
On printers in Serbia?
They're behind times over there.
Gosh. Bet they're super pumped about Miami Vice coming on, the number 1 new hit show. That's a Euro Trip reference for those that don't get it. Yeah! KD with a big bucket. We're back up 4. 32 seconds to play. We got to go to break. Jokic just absolutely running over people and nobody's going to call a foul. Like, this isn't the NBA Finals, right?
No.
This isn't a December game against Memphis.
No.
I mean, this is the semifinals of the Olympic Games.
Yeah.
And we're just giving him every call? What are we doing?
Once every 4 years.
Pitiful. I mean, he doesn't get that call here. And his jersey's misspelled. Oh,
is that an and one?
Didn't count. Oh, my God.
Oh, foul was on the floor. That's crap. Get out of here.
Oh, wait. Did they call timeout?
No.
They're out of timeouts. That's what Steve Kerr's saying.
So that's a tech. Yeah.
Should be.
Yeah. Shout out, Chris Webber. Where you at, bro?
Look at that old Serbian coach. He's so old.
He kind of looks like Jim Mora.
Who is also so old.
But doesn't he kind of look like Jim Mora?
A little bit. And that he's old.
Yes. Well, he's got like a lighter skin, darker, kind of like tan complexion. Yeah.
He's old with salt and pepper hair. That's about
and the
extent.
complexion.
All right, U.S. up 2, 8 seconds to go. 8.2. Steph at the line, shooting 2. This would put it away.
Okay, that was.
He rolled it in.
Geez.
Okay.
What in the world?
I mean, Steph, what are we doing here? All right, one more, and then we can go to break, and I can exhale.
I find it so weird when people call him Stefan. It just freaks me out, actually.
Where do you stand on Stafford? Matt or Matthew?
Matthew.
Yeah.
Yeah,
he said Matthew. His wife, his family, his mother says Matthew.
Exactly.
Yeah. Call someone what their mama calls them.
Mm-hmm.
That's my contention. What does your mama call you? That's what I'll call you. Made them both.
All right.
All right. U.S. up 4, 8.2 to go. We'll wrap up the hour with an Olympic update and a final score of the U.S. whipping up on Serbia because they don't know how to spell their own country. It's AFR.
AFR.
Get Gordon and get it done. Gordon McKernan, injury attorneys. You've been injured in an accident. You know what to do. Do what injured people in our state have done for more than 30 years. Go to getgordon.com, getgordon.com. Get Gordon and get it done. Of course, Gordon McKernan, injury attorneys. Go, USA! It's over. Hit the Go USA thing again. USA! The Serbijas are so sad right now. I know Gordon McKernan's a great American, so he doesn't mind me taking that quick second in the middle of his live read to play the British guy yelling Go USA, as if he was really excited for the U.S. instead of just excited for his employer, who happens to be an American television network. Play it again, music.
Go, USA!
But Gordon McKernan is a legit great American. What is that? What am I hearing? Muse, do you hear that?
Yes, I do. I don't know what it is.
Getgordon.com, getgordon.com. You know what to do. Get Gordon and get it done.
Bayou Ford has the new inventory to get you in a new Ford truck or SUV today. Or customize your next vehicle just the way you want it. All new Bayou Ford vehicles come with a 1 million mile powertrain warranty. The crew at Bayou Ford is going to do right by you.
When it comes to ending cancer, we push forward, always working together for you. That's why our cancer experts at Ochsner have clinically integrated with MD Anderson Cancer Center. This means advanced cancer care, including access to life-saving clinical trials and integrating care to treat the whole you. Introducing Ochsner MD Anderson Cancer Center. Long live you.
Breck teamed up to reimagine your parks, and you imagined big. With your help, we went to work, creating 12 beautiful community parks across the parish. A family-sized water park, miles and miles of trails, and parks just for your dogs. There are more places to splash, to explore, to run wild, and even soar. You imagined, we delivered. Gold. Breck, your #1 park system in the nation.
Electricity is all around us, and our families depend on it. Every day is sparked by the power of a cold drink or a warm meal, a movie night, and a comforting light at the end of a dark hallway. From sunrise to sunset, playtime to bedtime, our team is ready to take care of your electrical needs. Even in the case of an after-hours emergency, the light in your life shines brighter with Mr. Electric.
Hey, it's Matt Moscona. For years, you've heard me tell you about Insurance Network of Louisiana, helping you find better coverage for less money. But it's not just for your home and auto. They also offer commercial property. So, retail stores, professional offices like doctors, dentists, attorneys, clothing boutiques. Insurance Network of Louisiana can find you better coverage for less money. They service the entire state of Louisiana, and they're local. So call today at 293-0450 or lainsurance.net.
At Relief Windows, we're more than windows. We're windows, doors, hardy plank, and vinyl siding. But our #1 product is always customer satisfaction.
The love of my life is a shady lady, tearing me up just to bring me down. Used to be calm, but now she's crazy. I don't mind. Tearing me down like a jungle monkey, cutting me
After further review with Matt Moscona.
be fine, but now she's funky. I don't mind. She's not the love of my life anymore.
Crank it up, yes! The USA whipped up on Serbia!
Go, USA!
Domination! Start to finish! Wire to wire!
Not quite.
Never a doubt!
Yeah, there's a big doubt.
Go, USA!
Go, USA!
All right, Muse Olympic update. Let's do it.
It's a good day. It's a really good day for the United States of America, Matt. It got started in some climbing. Sam Watson takes the bronze medal.
How do you
Men's
lead with
speeds
climbing,
because I'm going in
Muse?
order. We're going in order of the day. Yes.
No.
It's the easiest way to do it.
No.
Yes.
You start with the biggest story. Start with this game.
You
Start
just
with
did
this
that.
game.
For the last half hour, we did that.
And people just got in the car. They're just getting off of work. This is radio. People don't listen continuously forever. Don't worry, Muse. I'll do your job. The U.S. beat Serbia 95-91. They were down 11 at the half. And that was when Jokic only had like 8 points.
He had 9
It was
points.
incredible. The U.S. just couldn't buy a bucket. They stunk. Then all of a sudden, LeBron James, Stephen Curry, and the boys come back, and they get it done. U.S. beats Serbia 95-91 to advance to the gold medal game. Now on to all the stuff nobody actually cares about, Muse.
They'll play France Saturday in the gold medal game.
Oui, oui?
Oui, oui, bonjour. Where you at, Honor?
Where you at, Honor? Oui, bonjour.
So good.
Oui,
So Sam Watson got the day started for the United States, a bronze medal in the men's speed climbing. He set a world record along the way, 4.74 seconds, which is actually absurd that he climbed a wall that fast. Kenny Bednarik, they call him Kung Fu Kenny. He wears a headband. He took the silver in the men's 200 meter. There was an upset there. Noah Lyles, who was the favorite, and it's his best event, took the bronze in that event. Did say after that he was diagnosed with COVID on Tuesday.
And they let him compete?
Isn't that
How
interesting?
could anybody compete with COVID?
Wow.
Oh, you have
Especially
COVID, you have to go sit in a room for 2 weeks and not talk to anybody or look at a wall.
So Noah Lyles takes the bronze. At this point in the Olympics, China had taken the gold medal lead over the United States, and they were feeling good. And then Sydney McLaughlin-Levrone took to the track for the 400-meter hurdles, took the gold, set a world record.
Broke her own world record.
Broke her own world record.
I know that because I watched that video in your office.
Yep. 50.37 seconds for Sydney McLaughlin. Her second gold medal there.
Let's go. Did I see? She's the only person ever to win that event twice.
You saw that correctly. That is her.
Steph had 36, by the way.
400-meter hurdle
queen.
queen.
Let's go, Stephen Curry.
Golds weren't done. Tara Davis-Woodall in the long jump, gold medal. double medal event for the United States, as a matter of fact. Jasmine Moore takes the bronze in the long jump. Grant Holloway, 110-meter hurdles, gold medal.
Let's go. That a babe Greg.
Double medal
Look
event
at
for the
Greg
United
doing
States.
Work. That a babe Greg. Do work,
Grant.
Greg.
His name is Grant.
Oh, Grant. Do work, Grant.
Yeah. Grant Holloway.
That's what I said. You just didn't hear me.
No. And then Daniel Roberts, 110-meter hurdles, silver. 30 gold medals for the United States.
I said Joe Montana.
104 overall. That's your Olympic update.
Where did the music go?
I faded it out. We got to go to break.
We got 7 seconds. Crank it up, Muse. In honor of the Americans who just whipped the Azerbaijans.
Go, USA!
AFR.
We're brought to you by Relief Windows and ReliefWindows.com. Energy-efficient replacement windows, beautiful entry doors, hardy plank vinyl siding. Oh, yeah, they do indoor shutters as well. Over at Relief Windows, there's just nobody better. Remember, when you call Brandon Holly and the gang over at Relief Windows, they're always going to give you an unbelievable customer service experience because when you talk to Brandon, he'll tell you this. Yes, they sell windows and doors and siding and shutters and all that stuff, but their number one product is customer satisfaction. Because when you lead with that, everything else falls into place. That's why they measure twice to install once. Every window is custom made for your home. They never take $1 from you until they're done and you're thrilled. No down payment. They're not taking your money. They take all the risk up front. That's why for almost 2 decades now, they've had a sterling reputation. They continue to grow because they are the best. It's Relief Windows. Look, you call around, you're trying to find the cheapest. They ain't going to be the cheapest, but they're always going to be the best. It's Relief Windows.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals, but many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
There's nothing chill about a hot, sweaty line. Unless you add Mountain Cold Refreshment. Coors Light. Choose chill.
At Relief Windows, we're more than windows. We're windows, doors, hardy plank, and vinyl siding. But our number one product is always customer satisfaction. Visit us online at reliefwindows.com.
The Windsor Senior Living Community in Mandeville, Louisiana is a beautiful, vibrant apartment community geared towards seniors. They are nestled right in the heart of Mandeville, where seniors live a more carefree lifestyle in spacious apartments with the peace of mind that comes from having a little extra help. Call the Windsor at 985-624-8040 to schedule a lunch and tour. Come see how the Windsor can be your passport to peace of mind.
Jerry and Benny Payne began Central Plumbing Company out of their driveway in Tanglewood Subdivision. 50 years later and 4 generations down the road, we continue to serve Baton Rouge and the surrounding areas for all of their plumbing needs. Residential, commercial, industrial, or hospitality, Central Plumbing is here 24/7, 365.
We want to thank our customers, family, and friends for 50 years of success.
And looking forward to 50 more.
Gulf Coast Office Products is a nationally recognized Savin office equipment dealer based right here in Louisiana. Over 100 employees strong, Gulf Coast has the boots on the ground to support all vertical markets from education, engineering, legal, and finance. With the latest in office technology from desktop to production segment units, Gulf Coast and Savin have the perfect fit for you. Call 225-756-2644. That's 756-2644 for Gulf Coast Office Products.
Gulf Coast Bank and Trust is giving our customers the power to bank anywhere, anytime during this challenging event. And we're right there with you. Our mobile banking app is a smart way to manage your money and time. Gulf Coast Bank and Trust, the bank that cares about you.
This is
Center.
I'm Doug Brown with breaking news from the Olympics. The U.S. men's basketball team comes back from 17 points down to beat Serbia in the semifinals today, 95-91. Steph Curry leads the way with 36 points, including 9 threes. Curry also with 8 rebounds. LeBron James with a triple-double, 16, 12, and 10. Joel Embiid chips in with 19 points of his own. The U.S. will play the host team, France, for gold on Saturday. France beat Germany in the other semifinal, 73-69. American sprinter Noah Lyles takes bronze in the 200 meters. After the race, Lyles revealed he tested positive for COVID on Tuesday. Another American, Kenny Bednarik, takes silver. Lyles won the 100 meters on Sunday. U.S. women's volleyball beats Brazil in 5 sets to advance to the gold medal match on Sunday. The White Sox today fire manager Pedro Grifol in his second season. Last year, the team lost 101 games. They may lose more this year.
Here's one stat that's super simple to remember. Discover automatically doubles the cash back on your credit card at the end of your first year with Cash Back Match. With Discover, you could turn $150 cash back to $300. See terms at discover.com/credit card.
Matt Moscona.
I'm very important.
After further review.
Say it one more time.
After further review with Matt Moscona.
And here we go.
Live from the Mercedes-Benz of Baton Rouge Studios.
That's right.
Hour 2, off we go. Welcome aboard. Glad you're with us. It's AFR. I'm Matt.
Love you, Matt.
Taylor Sharp. Muso. And Mr. Toby Tomplin. All right, we're here. Glad you are as well. Get out there and make it a good one. Fred LeBlanc, Cowboy Mouth, 30 minutes from right now. Ross Jackson out in Irvine with the Saints. He'll be here in his spot 1 hour from right now. Tigers had the day off of fall camp on Thursday, a recovery day, as Brian Kelly calls it. They got a giant new recovery center on the back of the football operations building, making good use of it. Be back on the practice field on Friday. Gave us an opportunity to kind of step back and look at fall camp up to this point and what's still ahead. It was a great opportunity to catch up with our friend Eddie Kennison, former Tiger great, a former first-round pick of the Rams. Good enough to join us for a couple of minutes here. Eddie, always a pleasure, man. How are you?
Hey, Matt, I'm fantastic, brother. How are you guys?
Doing great, man. Being out there at fall camp, I'm grateful that BK gives us the access, but I feel for the players, and a recovery day is certainly needed when you're out there for 2 hours in pads every day, man. It's I understand that that's a grind. What does a recovery day during camp mean for guys like this?
It means ice tub. It means massages. It means resting, staying off your feet. It means sleeping. It means mental awareness. Man, there's so many things that come with a recovery day. Getting into the training room and, patching up little nicks and bruises and, little muscle aches and sores and just taking a full day to get all of those things done.
Hey, Eddie, do you, knock on wood, but they have been remarkably healthy, which isn't the case everywhere. And I know sometimes there's luck with injuries, but what do you attribute that to when you're 6 days into camp and really there's nothing notable to mention on the injury front?
Well, it comes with with an elite training staff to be able to track the athletes, because they have all of these really cool devices and things that monitor everything about the athlete. And with our trainers being on it to be able to pick up on those things, it does a better job with keeping the guys healthy. And it also comes with great coaching as well, with coaches understanding, one, how hot it is outside and how physically demanding the game is, and the coaches listening to the trainers when they say, hey, this guy needs to rest or he needs to cool off or whatever the case may be. And I'm sure Brian Kelly and the rest of the coaching staff, they listen to the training staff, man. So it's one big staff overall and everyone working together.
Former Tiger
and
great.
there's a little luck as well.
There's got to be a little luck. There's no doubt. But, man, they've been pretty consistently healthy in Kelly's 3 camps that he's been here. It's certainly got to be more of that. I think you just spoke to that. Eddie Kennison's our guest. Hey, Eddie, a big conversation that everybody's having around LSU with the offense. They go, well, you lose Jaden Daniels, you lose those 2 first-round wide receivers. There's got to be some type of a regression. But we all have this dramatic expectation because you got Nussmeier, you got a whole bunch of talent still there. How much of a regression offensively is realistic to expect?
Well, you have to look at the talent in who we lost. Jaden Daniels, you think about Malik Neighbors, you think about Brian Thomas Jr. Is it really a regression? I don't think it's a regression. I think it's just different talent. And it takes different talent to win, in the SEC and in particular, big games. And let's take Joe Burrow. Let's take Jaden Daniels, for instance. Those guys came in as third-year guys, and they worked their way through understanding the game, being veterans of the game. Now, let's look at Nussmeier. I think Nuss is in his 4th or 5th year, and Nuss has, waited his turn. And he's played behind Jaden Daniels, and he's gotten the opportunity to look at this offense and this position from behind arguably one of the greatest quarterbacks come out of college football in Jaden Daniels. And Jaden Daniels had the opportunity, even to look at Joe on tape and, see the things that he did in his long tenure. So it's not a regression. It's just a different talent. And Nuss has waited his time. He's not a freshman. He's waited his time. And each one of our guys who came in their 3rd year and played that 3rd year a little bit, in their 4th year, they won a national championship. Nuss got a little playing time last year in the bowl game because Jaden didn't play because he was getting ready for the draft. I think we do not have a regression. We have the Nuss bus, baby, and I'm so looking forward to seeing. I'm so looking forward to seeing this young guy play football, brother. I cannot wait.
Hey, as far as the receivers, how well do you know this group, Eddie? I'm not sure how much you got to see them in spring and what they have out there, but it's impressive. There just doesn't seem to be any drop off, and even when you're talking about losing 2 first-rounders, that's a mouthful, and it feels silly just to say it, Eddie, but it really doesn't feel like there's a drop off. Like they just got the next crop of great guys out there.
I tell you this, Matt. I've been saying this for a couple years, and you can ask my close friends, my inner circle. One, Chris Hilton. Chris could have played his freshman year. Chris could have played with the group last year, but Chris is a younger guy. I personally believe he is just as good, if not better, than Malik Neighbors and Brian Thomas Jr. as a talent, overall route runner, speed. He can catch the football. Chris has gained some weight. He's gained muscle. So there's absolutely no drop-off there. I believe Chris Hilton Jr. will be the next great wide receiver to grace our field. And obviously, we saw Lacey last year play some downs, make some big catches. I know he had some work to do over this summer, and he did, and he put the work in. So I'm looking forward to seeing him play. Aaron Anderson, I'm not super familiar with him, but I did see these guys work a little bit. Shelton Sampson, see all of these guys work out and get better over this past offseason and into camp. I'm looking forward to Chris Hilton Jr. in particularly, and Lacey to step up and make some big plays. But we do not lose anything on the wide receiver front at all.
It's really just crazy, man. When you look at a guy like Kyron Lacey, who everyone assumes is going to be, the number 1 wide receiver here on this team, what do you see in his skill set?
Well, he's a big guy. He can go up and he can make the big catches, and we've seen him do that. The one thing that I knew that he was lacking a little bit last year was just a little bit consistency on catching the football. But he's worked on that over this offseason. And he very well could be that number one guy. But I've seen Chris Hilton because I was a director of player development, when Chris was a freshman. So I saw him as a young athlete then compared to where he is now. He's night and day. So, Lacey will absolutely, and he has stepped up over the offseason, his position coach, Coach Hankton, work with him, and I work with all of the guys. So I'm looking for big things to come from him, and his game level went from, I personally, from a 7 last year, he's probably at 8.5 right now in camp, and I think he can probably be at a 9 once the season starts.
Eddie Kennison's our guest. Eddie, one of my standout guys in camp last year in all my reports was Chris Hilton. Like, he was ready last year to play, be an impact guy. He was just behind 2 first-round picks. I mean, it was just –
That's right.
It's just kind of like – but good for him. He's waited his turn, and now this is the opportunity, which is awesome. Whenever you have a new OC, new play caller, how does that impact the offense, scheme, timing, Eddie, quarterbacks, receivers, all of that together?
Initially, when they first, went in, when Sloan and, Coach Hankton, I'm sure they go in and they call plays together. Initially when they first start, then that's where you have your little hiccups. That's what the off-season little passing camps do, the off-season conditioning, the off-season season times when they're in the meeting rooms and some on the field. That's when you have those little hiccups. I look at it now, those guys they're seasoned. They've been together for 5 or 6 months, if not even longer, working on, this new offense with co-offensive coordinators. These guys, they're ready, man. They're seasoned. I don't see any hiccups, that will hinder them from being who they need to be and looking forward to a national championship this year. I don't see any really big hiccups. Yes, you may see a few little things in game 1, maybe game 2, just because of the speed of the game is different from in practice. But other than that, once they get that timing down with the speed of the game, they're going to be fine. I'm looking forward to a great season from our Tigers.
Hey, Eddie, got one more thing, man. This is this year college football is implementing a few things that are going to more mirror the NFL. There'll be the helmet comm, so Joe Sloan will be able to talk into Garrett Nussmeier's ear, give him plays, things like that. There'll be iPads on the sideline. There's a 2-minute warning now in college football. How do you think that might impact the game for the better or for the worse?
I think it impacts it for the better because ultimately guys at the college level, they're looking forward to playing at the next level in the National Football League. And the National Football League has been implementing these particular deals, as long as I can remember, as long as I played. So they're basically getting them ready for the next level. And I think it enhances the idea for college football because you get to the offensive coordinators get to talk directly to the quarterback without sending in signals or anything like that. So it alleviates or eliminates or take away a lot of signal stealing and all of the other things that college athletes had to deal with in offensive coordinators and defensive coordinators. So I think it enhances the game. And when you can give the guys real plays, on real time on the iPads on the sideline, I think it just helps them better understand where they are and what they need to do scheme-wise during the course of the game.
He's Eddie Kennison, former Tiger, great, of course, first-round pick of the Rams, former 6-time All-American sprinter as well. You watching track and field in the Olympics, man?
Am I watching track and field, brother? Let me tell you, I'm like in front of my TV, Matt, like I'm running track, brother. I'm all over.
All right, give me your biggest standout, man. What's been the most impressive so far?
Oh man, I think the 100 meters was probably it right now it's probably the biggest standout. But also Quincy Hall.
How about
from Kansas City, brother. How about that finish? That was impressive. So I mean, there's been some phenomenal track runs.
I mean, how do you come from that far behind in that race? Quincy Hall won the 400 and was, I mean, in the final 50 meters, I guess. Eddie, you tell me, you obviously know this way better than me. I mean, the kick he got was incredible to just nose past the finish line.
That's right. And I think Matt, I think that was willpower. In his interview he did with Lewis immediately after the race, he just said, I took everything that I've been through in my life and the things I've been dealing with over the last couple years in my life, and I left all of that out there on the track. And brother, when you deal with adversity and you deal with a lot of things in life, and you're sitting back there and you're like in 5th place, I think he was coming around the curve, the last 100 meters, and all of that willpower and everything you've been dealing with, I think that all came out, and that proved him to win a gold medal.
Pretty incredible, man. Eddie Kennison, always great to chat. Go-to legend. Y'all check him out on podcasts, on YouTube, on Instagram as well. Looking forward to another great season, man. We appreciate you.
Hey, Matt, thank you, brother. Anytime. Love you, man.
It's our pleasure. We love you too, man. That's Eddie Kennison, one of the best to ever wear the purple and gold. Just an awesome dude. Been a pleasure to get to know him over these past several years. All right, let me knock out a quick break. Fred LeBlanc, Cowboy Mouth, bottom of the hour. We'll come back. Dennis Allen and Derek Carr both talking about, will starters play for the Saints in the preseason game on Saturday? We'll get to that next. It's AFR.
AFR.
AFR is brought to you by Duplessis Builders. If you're thinking about that pool, it's 94 degrees, man. 4:16 in the afternoon, it's 94 degrees. How about going to jump into that pool, cool off at home, to entertain around a pool party, whatever it may be? Maybe you bought a home that has a pool, and it's just looking a little dated right now. They do remodels. If your pool is dated, aging, maybe it's starting to leak, or you just want a different look, you want Duplessis Builders. Design that backyard paradise. I love the quote on the homepage of the website. Quality is remembered long after price is forgotten. You see, at Duplessis, you are buying a premium product. They're not going to be the cheapest. They're not going to do it the fastest. That's not Duplessis. Derek's up front, very honest. It's going to take 2 months for a complete build-out from scratch. But they don't cut corners. They do premium work that's beautiful, and that's why you get a 10-year workmanship warranty at Duplessis. DuplessisBuilders.net.
There it is, the extra mile, on the border of expected and extraordinary for those willing to go further, like vans customized for work or play, with safety and tech to keep you connected, supported by a 5-star sales, service, and finance team, and backed by the 1-star you know. So go the extra mile. It's never crowded, because so few have what it takes to go there. Mercedes-Benz Vans.
Farming is a way of life for us. It's not something we get up in the morning and dread going do. It's just something we go to bed at night looking forward to getting up to go do. John Deere equipment is what we as farmers strive to have. So it's in your blood, it's in your veins. It's just a part of who you are. Green is what we want to be in. The other tractors were acquired to patch it up to get to where you want to be. Where we want to be is in John Deere. Flip the switch and learn more about what it means to be powered by sunshine at sunequip.com.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals, but many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
Dylan Cruz here to tell you about Six Rings Baseball and Softball Camp. If you live on the North Shore and play ball, go to Six Rings Camps with former LSU assistant coach Dan Canaveri. His knowledge is second to none, and your child will improve and have fun doing it. Camps were held at Coquille Park and Six Rings Academy in Covington with 4 sessions over the summer. Full day and morning only sessions are available from ages 7 to 13. Go to sixringsbaseball.com or call 985-206-9096. Learn the game to love the game.
When it comes to ending cancer, we push forward, always working together for you. That's why our cancer experts at Ochsner have clinically integrated with MD Anderson Cancer Center. This means advanced cancer care, including access to life-saving clinical trials and integrating care to treat the whole you. Introducing Ochsner
When I saw your face in the crowd, now I'm trying to work past my anger. I should know better by now. I used to believe in love songs. It took me so long.
After further review with Matt Moscona.
Fred LeBlanc, Cowboy Mouth will be here in 10 minutes. Fired up for that. Cowboy Mouth playing at the Texas Club with our sister station Eagle 98.1 tomorrow on Friday. So I've been telling Muse and Taylor here, who aren't familiar with Cowboy Mouth, about how it's just like maniacal energy that Fred LeBlanc, when he performs, it is that. And I told him yesterday a story about how saw Cowboy Mouth at the Varsity when I was in college, and Fred plays the drums. The lead singer also plays the drums. He's barefoot on stage. He jumped off the stage and was walking through the crowd at the Varsity barefoot. I was thinking, like, what if there's a broken bottle somewhere? Like, what? What does that mean for the
high possibility?
What does that mean for the drummer the rest of the night? Anyway, but I got this text from Mike Siegel, who said, I saw Fred LeBlanc in 1985 when he was with Dash Riprock at Enoch Cafe in Monroe. Probably seen him 50 times since then with Cowboy Mouth and Dash Riprock. Great drummer, great energy. He used to crawl around on his stomach on the floor in the bar and pop up between the tables. It was hilarious. I'm telling you, dude, he's a maniac.
Clearly.
Hell of a nice guy. But on stage, it's just, he's a maniac.
Switch flips.
That's what he's known for. So I can't wait to talk to him, man. I'm excited about it. All right, it's after further review. Dennis Allen and Derek Carr both met with reporters out in Irvine on Thursday. Saints practice Thursday. They're off Friday to travel. They travel Friday, and they'll play Saturday against Arizona. They're in the Phoenix area. And Dennis Allen was asked if Derek Carr was going to play Saturday in the preseason game.
Yeah, we'll talk about it tonight as a staff and make a decision on what we want to do with all of our guys in terms of whether they're going to play or not play. Again, I haven't had any communication with the players at all in terms of what we're going to do. So until I have an opportunity to do that, I won't discuss any of that publicly.
I don't know. I don't know that you need to hold anything close to the vest. It's not like there's a competitive advantage because nobody cares if you win a preseason game. Literally, the first preseason game of this season last week, they called it off in the third quarter in the middle of rain delay. Like, it don't matter if you play. So it's not like there's a competitive advantage. It's just, are you going to play him or not? So I don't know. I think there's some merit to it. Look, Derek Carr played one series in the preseason last year. One. The first one, and didn't see him again. And I understand you got Hayner and Rattler, and we're all excited to see him, but you also got a new offense. A new offense, new receivers, new offensive line. There's a lot of things that you need to get ironed out. And I think there's some validity to saying you might want to give those guys a look in the preseason instead of just saying we're not going to mess with it at all. Derek Carr was asked about it if he thought it was important to play in the preseason.
I think every year is different. I really do believe that. I think last year it was nice to get out there and see the stadium for the first, be in front of the fans like that, all that kind of stuff. And I think now it's just more like the operational stuff. It is a new offense. Like I think it's just different. But again, this year is new, and it's new for everybody. It's not just new for me. So I think especially when it's new for everybody, hopefully we can get out there and just get a couple. Whatever that looks like. I don't know what DA is thinking, whether we are or not this game or whatever. But at some point you just hope to maybe go get a few.
It used to be that when you played 4 preseason games, the starters might see the field for a drive or two in the first game. They maybe like a quarter in the second game. They play the first half, maybe even into the third quarter of the third game, then they would play it all in the fourth game. Well, in the past several years, especially now with just 3 preseason games, there's been this just fundamental shift with that to where a lot of times you don't see starters at all. But I really do think there's great merit to seeing the starters and seeing definitely the offensive starters. In particular, the offensive line. You need the continuity and the cohesion. And the only way you build that is through reps. So I think there is something to that. Derek Carr was actually asked also on Thursday about the offensive line and the progress he's seen from them so far in camp.
It's a different system, right? Especially protection-wise. There's different things, different calls. I've been so impressed with how fast they picked it up, and I've been really impressed with the execution of it. We've had a few things. There was it wasn't the 2-minute drive we wanted today. They finally got us. I'll say that. Cam's always talking crap about these competitive drills. They finally stopped us. I think we're up 7-1. I don't know if that's the right count, but I'll just stick with it. But what you're seeing is you see guys really trying to do things the way they're taught, because if everyone does it the way they're taught, it usually ends up right. And so, again, these coaches have such a system that it takes everyone being on the same page. And so the more reps we can get being on the same page and doing it, live bullets, all that, I think it'd be just a good thing.
I mean, I can say it. It means more when it's coming from the starting quarterback, and I don't think that's lip service. He's saying we can get live reps, live bullets. It's meaningful with all those new guys. I mean, it is. It's 3 new starters on the offensive line, and one of them is already rotated out with Lucas Patrick replacing Nick Saldiveri. After, I don't need to see Chris Olave and Rashid Shaheed. I don't need to see those guys. That fine, whatever. They're going to be there for the Panthers in the opener. I'm good. But all the other receivers, I want to see all those guys. And I want to see them run routes with Derek Carr throwing him the football. The offensive line, I need to see those guys. I want to see this running game. There's a lot of work that they have to do over these next 3 weeks. And listen, I love watching preseason games because it's typically about watching roster spots 51, 52, and 53. Who's going to win those last roster spots? And a lot of times guys like that become impactful players. JT Gray's become a team captain, a Pro Bowler as a special teamer. It's an undrafted free agent. You know what I mean? Those guys are there. And it happens every year. There's UDFAs every year that win a roster spot. So we'll see those guys in the preseason. That's exciting. But I also look at this year in particular, because of the massive turnover, in particular on offense, and a totally new system, that, yeah, man, I think there is some validity to giving those guys, those starters, some run this preseason. But we'll see what they elect to do. And when we know, of course, we'll talk about it. All right, it's After Further Review. We're glad you're with us. We're brought to you by Evermore. Always keep my Evermore with me here during the show. Love to stay hydrated. It's a better form of hydration. You'll find it everywhere. I'm going to tell you, one of the things that I know our partners over at Evermore have been so pleased with is how many of you not only have found the product, tried it, but then you've taken a picture, you've shared it on Facebook or Instagram or Twitter, or you've messaged me. It's very validating that a lot of people are discovering this product for the first time. It's a nationally distributed product. I mean, Dak Prescott's a national endorser. Cloth and Nuss, the beach volleyball players, the Olympians are endorsers as well. And we're thrilled to be partnered with them here. I got the Evermore bottle on set with me every single day. If you watch the show, you see it. But when you go to the store, keep an eye out on that water aisle for Evermore, a natural artesian water, Mother Nature's masterpiece. It's Evermore. You can find it at great local retailers and, of course, online at evermore.com, EVAMOR, evermore.com, evermore.com. Okay, it's After Further Review, y'all. Let me knock out a quick break, come back, fire it up about this, man. Soundtrack to a lot of years of my high school and college life, Fred LeBlanc and Cowboy Mouth. They'll be at the Texas Club on Friday. We're going to visit with Fred next on AFR.
AFR.
Hard to believe, y'all. I mean, it's 94 degrees outside, but it is August, and we're inching closer to September, which means we're inching closer to fall. And over at Clegg's Nursery, they are ramping up for fall right now. So get by any of the 4 Clegg's Nursery locations. Pretty awesome. When you get by Clegg's right now, they got full greenhouses. They're starting to get some of those fall bedding plants in. They've got Johnny Naylor seeds. It's time to plant that fall vegetable garden as well. I know it's time. It is time to get the seeds in the ground. So get on by Clegg's Nursery and check them out. And on top of that, y'all, at Clegg's, they've got all the accessories. So if you need shovels and rakes and hose and all that stuff, if you need mulch and soil, they got all that. They've got everything you need to make your garden, your outdoor spaces just absolutely beautiful. And, y'all, buck busters. They already got it in. You're putting out those deer plots. They've already got buck busters. We'll be telling you about mow bucks and deer corn as they start to come in, but they've already got buck busters at all 4 Clegg's Nursery locations. You know what to do. Buy local, shop local, and tell them Matt sent you in to Clegg's Nursery.
Bayou Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram is taking $20,000 off new 23 Ram 1500 trucks. We're open for business in our beautiful new showroom and taking $20,000 off the powerful Ram truck. All new Bayou vehicles come with a 7-year, 100,000-mile warranty. The crew at Bayou Automotive is going to do right by you.
Gulf Coast Bank and Trust is giving our customers the power to bank anywhere, anytime during this challenging event. And we're right there with you. Our mobile banking app is a smart way to manage your money and time. Gulf Coast Bank and Trust, the bank that cares about you.
There it is, the extra mile, on the border of expected and extraordinary, for those willing to go further, like vans customized for work or play, with safety and tech to keep you connected. Supported by a 5-star sales, service, and finance team, and backed by the 1-star you know. So go the extra mile. It's never crowded, because so few have what it takes to go there. Mercedes-Benz Vans.
Breck teamed up to reimagine your parks, and you imagined big. With your help, we went to work, creating 12 beautiful community parks across the parish. A family-sized water park, miles and miles of trails, and parks just for your dogs. There are more places to splash, to explore, to run wild, and even soar. You imagined, we delivered. Gold. Breck, your #1 park system in the nation.
Electricity is all around us, and our families depend on it. Every day is sparked by the power of a cold drink or a warm meal, a movie night, and a comforting light at the end of a dark hallway. From sunrise to sunset, playtime to bedtime, our team is ready to take care of your electrical needs. Even in the case of an after-hours emergency, the light in your life shines brighter with Mr. Electric.
Hey, it's Matt Moscona. For years, you've heard me tell you about Insurance Network of Louisiana, helping you find better coverage for less money. But it's not just for your home and auto. They also offer commercial property. So, retail stores, professional offices like doctors, dentists, attorneys, clothing boutiques. Insurance Network of Louisiana can find you better coverage for less money. They service the entire state of Louisiana.
Hey, Fred, can y'all turn the camera? Can y'all turn the camera sideways? Thank you.
After further review with Matt Moscona.
I could not be more freaking fired up for this. Michelle Southern, our friend over at Eagle 98.1, told me Cowboy Mouth's playing their 90s show over at the Texas Club on Friday and said, hey, you want to have Fred from Cowboy Mouth on? I was like, is a Bear Catholic? Of course. I mean, are you freaking kidding me? Everybody, look, New Orleans born and bred, one of the greatest rock bands of my life in this era, in this generation. I've seen Cowboy Mouth a bajillion times, and I'm pretty fired up to have Fred LeBlanc and John Griffith as well joining him from Cowboy Mouth to join us here on the show. Fellas, great to have you. How are you?
We're doing great. How are you, man?
Man, I'm pretty fired up, and I'm excited to talk to y'all. Does it ever get old? I mean, you guys have been doing this for so long, like since 1985. Does it ever get old playing shows, doing gigs, and doing interviews like this?
You know, I can only speak for myself, but no, it really doesn't. What do you think? Does it ever get old?
It doesn't for me.
John loves it. I mean, that's one of the main reasons we keep doing it is because we love it, because we enjoy it so much, because we enjoy bringing the whole vibe of Louisiana all over the world. You know.
You know, it's No, go ahead, John.
It beats digging a ditch, you know.
Yeah.
Amen, John. So, I mean, I talk about sports for a living, right? And I tell people that all the time. Like, do you ever get tired of talking about sports? I'm like, you kidding me? I'm not building the railroad. I sit on my ass and I talk about sports. As long as someone's going to pay me to do this, I'll do it forever, man. It's incredible.
We pretty much got the sweet lives here.
Yeah,
you know?
Man. You know, so it's funny. So our producers here are a little bit younger than me, and so this has been an opportunity to introduce them to Cowboy Mouth because they weren't familiar with the band. How much of that happens generationally, guys? Like, are you seeing new generations of fans come to shows? Is it a lot of people like me who loved you guys in the 90s who still come out?
You know, a lot of it is like people react to the energy on an intuitive level. And that's one thing we've always had going for us because we've always had a unique combination of people producing this really unique energy. What we're seeing in terms of turnover, we've seen a turnover in fans like every 3 to 5 years since the band started. And now we're kind of seeing something unique in that a lot of fans who were with us during the 90s, they've raised their kids.
Yeah.
You know, they're starting to kind of like retire or slow down on work. and they've got money to spend. So they're starting to come out and introducing a lot of their kids, grandkids, and their friends. So it's a real melting pot of stuff. But then again, we play stuff like we played Jazz Fest right before Greta Van Fleet, and it was about 100,000 people. And some of us knew, I mean, some of them knew us, but a lot of them didn't really know us because they were Greta Van Fleet fans. And like within the end of the first song, we had them right in the palm of our hand, and they just went berserk. It was cool to see. It was something really to see, because we'd played before Dave Matthews at Jazz Fest. We played before Aerosmith, Red Hot Chili Peppers, Jimmy Buffett, and the crowds were always great. Jazz Fest is probably one of the main highlights of our year. But, I remember playing before that crowd, and just these kids, it was just like all of a sudden somebody had just
Jaws were on the ground.
Jaws were on the ground, and it was like somebody had just told them it was okay to have fun.
Yeah, man.
Somebody told them that it was okay to let loose. Somebody told them that they could be as stupid as they wanted to be, because nobody was going to look any dumber than this drummer here, So 100,000 people just losing their damn minds, which is great,
Fred LeBlanc, John Griffith, Cowboy Mouth. They'll be playing Friday at the Texas Club in Baton Rouge. You can get your tickets, part of our Eagle 98.1 show with our friend Michelle Southern and our sister station. I was describing, the sort of, the way I said it, guys, like maniacal energy that you guys play with on stage. And Fred, I was telling a story. I'm sure you've done this a bajillion times, but
I've never touched her. You can't prove a thing.
No, hey, look, it was. Hey, I'm not. No accusations. It was at the Varsity. I was in college, and you're drumming barefoot, of course. You jump off the stage, and I'm thinking, my God, what if he steps on a broken bottle or something like this? Show ends pretty quickly. Have you ever done something on stage that you regretted later?
Yeah. Here's the story that doesn't get told much, but it's entertaining. And so the band had first started. We started in like October of 1990, and I wasn't really good at booking shows, so I booked us a show in January at a college town in Illinois, forgetting that it's cold as hell up there and that college kids don't start until like the second, third week of the year. And I booked this for the first week there. So we're playing this college bar in Illinois, and it's cold as hell. And so there was maybe about 20 people in a room that fit 500 people. So, but we're just kicking butt, doing our thing. And everybody in the room is dressed in thick jackets and sweaters. So back then I used to throw my drums out to the audience and try to get the people to catch them and bang on them. It was just kind of madness, This one guy who was just dancing, going crazy, right? I threw my drum at him, and it bounced off his chest and dropped on the floor. I thought to myself, I guess he missed it. And then another song came. It's like, I'm going to give him another chance. Threw another drum at him, bounced off his chest and threw him off the floor, So it's like, okay, but the guy was dancing. He loved it. We finished the show. And one of the guitar players came up and said, hey, Fred, that guy you kept throwing the drums to? I said, yeah, he kept dropping them. I wonder why he did that. And the guy looks at me and goes, because the guy doesn't have any arms.
How could you not
and
see
I was
that?
like, oh, no, I went up and apologized to him. I was like, dude, I'm so sorry. I didn't realize. He goes, oh, no, man, I loved you guys, Great.
It's like belting drums at a guy with no arms.
Throwing drums at a guy with no arms, because what else would you do? It's Cowboy Mouth, so there you go.
That's a Cowboy Mouth show. John, what about you, man? Like, what are some of the stories from the road and all the years that y'all have been touring, man, that still resonate with you?
Story. Well, there's a lot of them. I mean, our tours with Hooties and the Blowfish were great. We've been
Bare Naked Ladies.
Bare Naked Ladies.
Oh yeah,
Better Than Ezra.
I saw y'all with BNL. Yeah.
A lot of these guys are really still close friends. And really dear to us.
Yeah, we did Hootie Fest a couple of times in Cancun, and it was us, Hootie, Ezra, Collective Soul, who were really great friends. Edward McCain, who's just a great guy.
Gin
Blossoms, Lit, all these guys. We there's a fraternity of bands.
Yeah, we made a lot of good friends.
We made a lot of really good friends, and that's been one of the best things about it.
Yeah.
In fact, it was like I went to see Hootie play in Birmingham the other night. Just because we had a night off, and it was weird. It's like Darius came up to me after the show, gives me a big hug. He's like, Fred, man, I love you. said, I love you too, but really, can you believe we still get to do this crap after all these years? You say, I know. Isn't that awesome?
That's so good.
It's like we're just laughing about it. You know?
But you guys are releasing new music, though, right? Still, I mean, I know Michelle told me.
Yes, we are. Yeah.
She's got. Y'all
Well,
get spins on Eagle, right?
Yeah. Yeah, they've been playing a new single of ours called Alternate Reality, which has done really well for us at radio, and fan base seems to love it. And we're gonna play it. We're gonna play it obviously tomorrow night, and it's a kick-ass song, and people seem to dig it because it's a song for these crazy-ass times we're all going through. It's kind of like we're all living in our own version of an alternate reality. So it's just, but I mean, it's cowboy mouth, so it's propulsing rhythms, loud guitars, crazy singing, and getting people to just let it go, let it go, let it go.
Yeah, man. So, do you ever get? I mean, if you've never been to a Cowboy Mouth show, a huge part of the show is that, like, it's not just asking; it's like demanding crowd engagement, and it makes everybody feel part of it. It's an experience. Truly, is a way to say. I'm not saying it because you're here, guys, but it's true. It's an incredible live thing. Have you ever been at a show where the crowd didn't react?
No. No.
That's about right.
No,
man.
Some places it might take them a song or two to get into it, but we're pretty persistent. We're pretty obstinate. We don't give up.
No doubt.
I mean, between the chemistry that John and I have been having for years is just, quite honestly, even if people aren't going to enjoy it, I've learned, that the most fun thing you can do is try to make the other guys on stage laugh and just have fun. And that's usually been our saving grace. I mean, I was telling my kids this not too long ago. I said, I've played in front of audiences as big as 160,000 people, and we've also played in front of audiences as big as one person.
Mm.
And I said, and boy, you know what I did at both those shows? He said, what? I said, we kicked friggin' butt. That's what we did.
Love it, man. All right, I got two more things for you. There was a listener who texted and said he saw you when you're in Dash Rip Rock. Said he saw you at Enoch Cafe in Monroe. I said that you would crawl around on your stomach on the floor of the bar and pop up between tables. Can you confirm?
I have got an immune system that is like a god. Oh yeah. I used to do. I did it with Cowboy Mouth too. It was like
we'd be playing in Pittsburgh in the middle of the winter, and Fred's walking around the cement floor in bare feet. I'm going, dude, you're asking for it.
Yeah, pretty much. So I mean, thank God. One time I threw a stick across the room at Enoch's in Cowboy Mouth, and I just threw it across the room, not thinking about it, and then, I looked over and it had smacked John right in the forehead. Thank God he was wearing a baseball hat. Thank God he was wearing a baseball hat. I was telling him, I showed my kids Tipitinas the other day in New Orleans, like just driving around through New Orleans, showing my kids around because they don't live here. They don't live here in town. They live in Mississippi with their mom. And I was driving around showing Tipitinas. It's like, oh, really? Yes. Like, yeah, Daddy played there a lot. In fact, one night I balanced on a ceiling beam and took a Christmas tree and shoved it through a basketball goal. And at that moment, my kids were the more mature ones in the car. It's like, Daddy, did you really do that? It's like, yeah, I did.
Is there is any of that? And Fred, I'm looking at on the camera. I'm looking at your hand. I think maybe you got the phone or the camera backwards.
Oh yeah. I'm sorry.
No, you're good. You're good. Is any of that like premeditated? Like, do you guys like go into a venue and think, oh yeah, I'm going to take that tree and shove it in a goal tonight, or like is it organic?
No, no. If I thought about what I did, I probably wouldn't do it. A lot. 90% of what happens at a Cowboy Mouth show is completely in the moment.
Love it.
And that's the way we like it. I mean, there are certain things we can all depend on as players, as performers. But at the same time, you got to leave a good bit of it wide open so you can just kind of go for whatever happens, because anything can happen. I mean, literally anything can happen, and that's the joy of it.
John's got his weapon there. I see. You guys want to play something? We got about 2 minutes. Y'all want to play something?
All righty.
There we go.
He wants us to play.
Dealer's choice.
There you go. We're working in the studio right now. All right, so we'll do this. I got no reason for the things I feel, the things that plague me when I see and hear. I dodge the nickel and the nickel's none. I throw myself
into the Sunday sun.
When he says, turn off the radio. When he says, turn off the lights. Hey, baby. When he says, turn off the video. You beat yourself up to bring yourself down. Let it go, let it go, let it go. Let it go, let it go, let it go. When the world is coming down on me, I let it go.
Yeah. All right, guys. Appreciate that very much.
Glad
man.
you like it.
Fired up, man. Tomorrow night, Texas Club in Baton Rouge. Cowboy Mouth, Eagle 98.1 presents Back to the 90s Bash with Cowboy Mouth and friends. Get on out, 9 o'clock tomorrow night at the Texas Club. Tickets available at thetexasclub.com. Fellas, have a great show tomorrow. Thanks for the many years of entertainment and enjoyment, man. We appreciate a couple of minutes today as well.
Yeah, I got one question before we leave.
Yeah.
So who's your World Series pick for
see,
MLB this year?
I see you got a Dodger.
I'm wearing I don't know if you can see my shirt, but
you got a Dodger shirt. And I was going to ask you, John, I mean, are you a Dodgers fan or is that like a just because type thing?
No, I'm one of the biggest fans on earth, dude. I've loved them since I was a kid.
So a guy who comes on the show with us on Fridays, my buddy Ryan Terrio, was traded from the Cubs to the Dodgers in 2010. So he played in L.A. for a brief while there. If you have any Terrio Dodgers memories, then that would confirm that you were the greatest Dodger fan ever.
Do you have any Dodgers memories?
I used to go a lot. When I lived down there, I lived down in L.A., really close to the stadium. And the ex-drummer in Red Rockers and I used to go a lot, and we'd go every bobblehead day we could. And so I've got a serious collection of bobbleheads down there.
That's awesome, man. Got a serious collection of bobbleheads, Dodgers jerseys, guitars on the wall back there as well. No, but I don't like the Dodgers to win the series this year. I think I'm going Phillies, Yankees, and I'm taking my Yankees. I'm going to be a complete and unabashed homer, even though there's no way that's actually going to happen.
Let me tell you one thing. I'm a big Rangers fan because I'm born in Texas. So they won the World Series last year, and every time I land a DFW, I'm amazed that there's not one shirt in the entire airport.
Yeah.
No Rangers gear, nothing.
It's wild, man. That's Cowboys country for sure, man. But
there's no doubt about it.
Most teams will support most cities will support a winner if they get one. The Rangers got theirs last year. Fellas, we got to run. It's a real pleasure. Have a great job tomorrow night, man. Great show tomorrow night.
All the best. Come say hello, all right?
Will do. That's Fred LeBlanc. That's John Griffith. It's Cowboy Mouth there at the Texas Club tomorrow. It's AFR.
AFR.
Brought to you by the Watermark Hotel and the Renaissance Hotel. Maybe you're coming in town for the show and you need a place to stay. You can book it either the Watermark or the Renaissance. The Watermark downtown, the Renaissance Southtown. Great place if you're coming in to see Cowboy Mouth tomorrow, or if you're going to be in town for a football game this fall. Man, the Watermark downtown, Baton Rouge's premier hotel property, voted the best hotel in the Best of 225 awards. Gorgeous. Baton Rouge's original high-rise building downtown. The Gregory is right there in the lobby. Also, Milford on 3rd. It's a little more casual restaurant spot if you want to eat there. You could do that at the Watermark downtown. Great place to have a drink, cocktail, glass of wine at the bar any night of the week or any day that you might feel it. Also, Watermark downtown, we tell you about the Renaissance Southtown. No matter what event you may want to host or you're holding, 12 people up to 500 people. Remember, at the Renaissance, they're in the business of saying yes. They host the LSU football team the night before home games. They can host you as well. It's the Renaissance Hotel.
Bayou Ford has the new inventory to get you in a new Ford truck or SUV today. Or customize your next vehicle just the way you want it. All new Bayou Ford vehicles come with a 1 million mile powertrain warranty. The crew at Bayou Ford is going to do right by you.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals, but many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
Hey, it's Matt Moscona. For years, you've heard me tell you about Insurance Network of Louisiana, helping you find better coverage for less money. But it's not just for your home and auto. They also offer commercial property. So, retail stores, professional offices like doctors, dentists, attorneys, clothing boutiques. Insurance Network of Louisiana can find you better coverage for less money. They service the entire state of Louisiana, and they're local. So call today at 293-0450 or lainsurance.net.
Jerry and Benny Payne began Central Plumbing Company out of their driveway in Tanglewood subdivision. 50 years later and 4 generations down the road, we continue to serve Baton Rouge and the surrounding areas for all of their plumbing needs. Residential, commercial, industrial, or hospitality, Central Plumbing is here 24/7, 365.
We want to thank our customers, family, and friends for 50 years of success.
And looking forward to 50 more.
Gulf Coast Office Products is a nationally recognized Savin office equipment dealer based right here in Louisiana. Over 100 employees strong, Gulf Coast has the boots on the ground to support all vertical markets, from education, engineering, legal, and finance. With the latest in office technology, from desktop to production segment units, Gulf Coast and Savin have the perfect fit for you. Call 225-756-2644. That's 756-2644 for Gulf Coast Office Products.
At Relief Windows, we're more than windows. We're windows, doors, hardy plank, and vinyl siding. But our number one product is always customer satisfaction.
After further review with Matt Moscona.
By the way, shout out, thanks again to Fred LeBlanc, John Griffith from Cowboy Mouth. That was a lot of fun. Love those guys, man. For a lot of people my age, you love that band. You've seen them a million times. They've been at everything all the time. Michelle sent me this. Doors at 7, A Downfall plays at 8, Blue Crab Redemption plays at 9, Cowboy Mouth takes a stage at 10:15, and the first 100 people are also going to get a free Eagle 98.1 t-shirt. But it's a t-shirt. I'll show you the graphic. It's got like the Nirvana smiley face logo on it. It's freaking phenomenal. I'll show it to you in a bit, but we got to run because we got to get to Tigers in the Pros. Muse, hit it.
Tigers in the Pros. They still bleed purple and gold. They're just really rich now.
Jontre Kirkland has a new home after a really, really solid year in the UFL with the San Antonio Brahmas. He will now be a member of the San Francisco 49ers. Niners signing Kirkland late last night. This will be his third stint in the NFL, previously spending time with the Cardinals and the Saints, now a member of the 49ers. Jordan Wright has a new home. And it is Turkey.
Oh.
Yes, he's taking his talents to Turkey, as the LSU basketball account put it. No, wee.
No.
Not in Turkey.
Oh.
He's going to play for, let's give this a go.
No.
Aliaga Petcomspor.
Nailed it.
Of the Basketball Superliga. So shout out to Jordan Wright. Major League Baseball, Jake Fraley, 2 for 4 night yesterday with a run scored in that one. Both the hits, singles, the average up to 284. Doubleheader yesterday, Scone, for your Yankees.
Let's go.
DJ LeMahieu in game number 2 really did some work for the Pinstripes. 2 for 4 in that one. Both singles, but did drive in a run and score one of his own. It's RBI number 22 on the year for Fraley. Kevin Gausman He will be on the bump tonight for the Toronto Blue Jays, looking for win number 10, getting into double digits, hopefully. Gosman will have to do it against the Baltimore Orioles. That's Tigers in the Pros.
Presented by Lee Michaels Fine Jewelry. You know, at Lee Michaels Fine Jewelry, they want her to love it. So if you think it's going to be great and she doesn't love it, they accept returns. Not everybody does that. They want her to love it. They want you to have the best experience. It's Lee Michaels Fine Jewelry. If they don't have what you want, they'll find it, or they'll make it. It's Lee Michaels Fine Jewelry. When you walk in, they offer you beverage and chocolates. They can get what you want because they got 10 different stores. They can find that custom piece for you or make it. It's Lee Michaels Fine Jewelry. Thrill her with a gift in the red box from Lee Michaels Fine Jewelry. LMFJ.com. Okay, y'all. Sports Center. Ross Jackson coming up. We'll get our Saints camp report from out in Irvine. Ton to do. Don't you move. AFR.
AFR.
AFR is brought to you by the Williamson Eye Center. 924-2020. 924-2020. Or WilliamsonEye.com. Back to school today for so many kiddos. If you have not yet gotten that eye exam for your kiddos for back to school, it's time. That happened for me around 6th grade, man. My eyes started to fade. You could tell I was having issues. Very, very, very nearsighted. So I started wearing glasses in the 6th grade, helped me be able to see the board better. And ultimately, by 8th grade, I had contacts and wore them all the way up until I had LASIK with Dr. Blake Williamson 5 years ago. Now, coming up on 6 years ago. And I'm thrilled. Best decision I could have ever made. But remember, if it's eye care, eye wear, or eye surgery, there's nobody better than the Williamson Eye Center because they've been serving Louisiana for 75 years now. You can trust Dr. Blake Williamson, the great team over at Williamson Eye at the Williamson Eye Center. I did, and you should as well. 924-2020 or WilliamsonEye.com.
There it is, the extra mile. On the border of expected and extraordinary for those willing to go further. Like vans customized for work or play. With safety and tech to keep you connected. Supported by a 5-star sales, service, and finance team. And backed by the 1-star you know. So go the extra mile. It's never crowded because so few have what it takes to go there. Mercedes-Benz Vans.
The Windsor Senior Living Community in Mandeville, Louisiana is a beautiful, vibrant apartment community geared towards seniors. They are nestled right in the heart of Mandeville, where seniors live a more carefree lifestyle in spacious apartments with the peace of mind that comes from having a little extra help. Call the Windsor at 985-624-8040 to schedule a lunch and tour. Come see how the Windsor can be your passport to peace of mind.
Farming is a way of life for us. It's not something we get up in the morning and dread going do. It's just something we go to bed at night looking forward to getting up to go do. John Deere equipment is what we as farmers strive to have. It's in your blood, it's in your veins. It's just a part of who you are. Green is what we want to be in. The other tractors were acquired to patch it up to get to where you want to be. Where we want to be is in John Deere. Flip the switch and learn more about what it means to be powered by sunshine at sunequip.com.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals. But many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
Dylan Cruz here to tell you about Six Rings Baseball and Softball Camp. If you live on the North Shore and play ball, go to Six Rings Camps with former LSU assistant coach Dan Canaveri. His knowledge is second to none, and your child will improve and have fun doing it. Camps were held at Coquille Park and Six Rings Academy in Covington with 4 sessions over the summer. Full day and morning only sessions are available from ages 7 to 13. Go to sixringsbaseball.com or call 985-206-9096. Learn the game to love the game.
When it comes to ending cancer, we push forward, always working together for you. That's why our cancer experts at Ochsner have clinically integrated with MD Anderson Cancer Center. This means advanced cancer care, including access to life-saving clinical trials and integrating care to treat the whole you. Introducing Ochsner MD Anderson Cancer Center. Long live you.
Center.
I'm Doug Brown. The U.S. men's basketball coaching staff was worried about playing Serbia. They were right to worry, but Team USA puts together a stirring fourth-quarter comeback to win today's Olympic semifinal 95-91. Steph Curry with 36, Joel Embiid with 19. LeBron James puts up the fourth triple-double in Olympic history, his second, 16, 12, and 10. The U.S. and France play for the gold on Saturday. Noah Lyles is denied in his attempt at the Olympic sprinting double. Letsili Tebogo of Botswana wins gold in the 200. American Kenny Bednarik gets silver. Lyles takes the bronze, and after the race says he tested positive for COVID just 2 days ago. Gold medals today for American Sydney McLaughlin-Lavroni in the 400 hurdles, Grant Holloway in the 110 hurdles, and Tara Davis-Woodhall in the women's long jump. 2 days after snapping a 21-game losing streak, the White Sox fire manager Pedro Grifol today. Grady Sizemore promoted to interim manager.
ESPN Radio is presented by Progressive Insurance. Looking for a career you'll love with flexibility, great pay and benefits, and one of the country's top workplaces? Come join their growing team. Go to progressive.com/careers and apply online today.
Matt Moscona.
I'm very important.
After further review.
Say one more time.
After further review with Matt Moscona.
And here we go.
Live from the Mercedes-Benz of Baton Rouge Studios.
That's right.
Hour 3, off we go. Welcome aboard. Glad you're with us. AFR. I'm Matt.
This is Shaq O'Neal, and I hate Matt.
Taylor Sharp. Yusuf. And a Mr. Toby Tom play. All right, we're here. Glad you are as well. 5 o'clock, quitting time. Glad you are driving home with us. Was Garrett Nussmeier snubbed? I'll get to that in about 15 minutes. Saints practiced on Thursday. Wheels up to Arizona on Friday. They'll play on Saturday. Our buddy Ross Jackson here for a Saints camp report. How are you, man?
Hey, buddy. Doing great.
Hey, let me start with the news of the day. Saints extend Pete Werner. Thoughts?
Yeah, I think this is a solid move by New Orleans. It's not a huge contract, right? 3 years, about $25 million or so. But the thing that I love about it is that you're getting a little bit ahead on this position that has some major question marks in terms of what it's going to look like within a couple of years. And this kind of gives you a little bit of clarity, if you're the New Orleans Saints, through 2027 of at least what a part of your linebacker core is. They believe that Pete Werner is the guy that kind of exemplifies what it is that they want from their defense. He has the ability to learn to be a culture leader from Demario Davis. And now this kind of frees up the Saints to maybe look at Willie Gay next offseason instead of having to worry about both Pete Werner and then the potential re-signing of Willie Gay. So I think that this is a really good move by New Orleans to get a little bit ahead on the position and then get themselves one step closer to life after Demario Davis, which, look, you're going to have a drop-off at the position anytime you don't have Demario, but you might as well keep the guy around that has continuously learned from over the course of the past 4 years.
Don't know who's going to play in the game on Saturday. Best guess, just being around DA and around the organization, how they're going to approach this?
Yeah, I think if they do give Derek Carr and some of these other players a little bit of an opportunity to get out there, it's going to be short-lived. It's going to be about Derek Carr getting comfortable, receiving some calls from the headset through Clay Kubiak, kind of feel a little bit of what that's like, and then immediately get them off the field and then get started with, with these other guys. And I think that like the core or the meat of the preseason is going to be all about Spencer Rattler, Jake Haener, guys like Jordan Mims and Isaiah Foskey showing, what they can do in their second year in the system and some of this other stuff. I think that that's going to be the kind of bigger focus this offseason or this preseason more than it is going to be about getting the starters ready, because you're not going to run your system, right? You're not going to go out there and run your brand new, new shiny system for everybody to see in the
Right.
preseason. You're going to save some of that stuff for the regular season. So it's the value really of putting out the starters for more than is necessary. It doesn't really feel like there is one. So I think for the most part, you're going to see a couple of starters. I imagine guys like Taliesin Fuanga as well as Trevor Penning getting some reps out there. That will be important for them. But I think for the most part, you're going to see this team either go immediately to its depth and get to those guys that are kind of jostling for position, or get there as quickly as they can.
He's on Twitter at Ross Jackson Nola. Give him a follow. I noticed your tweet about attendance for the camp. Man, it's just when you see it written down, Ross, it's so many names, guys that either weren't there, were off to the side. As we make our way here toward the first preseason game, what does feel significant as far as health injuries at this point?
I think for me, the two that feel most significant, and look, the biggest names are guys like Mario Davis and Marshall Lattimore and Rashid Shaheed. I get that. But those guys, we've seen them off to the side. We've seen them present. Guys like Nick Saldiveri and Kendre Miller, we ain't seen in a minute.
Mm-hmm.
And so for me, those are kind of the bigger ones that are a little bit more concerning to me. Because even Dennis Allen himself said the other week, look, if there was a game this weekend and we needed DeMario Davis to play, they'd play. He'd play. That's kind of the way that they looked at it with DeMario. And so I imagine there's a level of precaution. And I even asked Dennis Allen straight up about Rashid Shaheed, because there was sort of this temperature around Shaheed that, it was going to be, he was going to be kind of precautionary, and they were going to try to get him back sooner rather than later, and then we hadn't seen him up until then. And then now all of a sudden we're seeing him out at practices and things like that. So I look at the guys that we haven't seen anything of in a while. And so guys like Nick Saldiveri and Kendre Miller who need to be out there fighting to make the roster, fighting for their spot on the roster. I think that for me is the bigger concern, or a couple of the bigger concerns of the guys that have been missing in practice.
I noticed you also highlighted a rough day for Trevor Penning. It's always interesting, Ross, whenever somebody either struggles, was Chase Young that good, or did Penning have a bad day, and how you sort of to marry those two thoughts. So you were there, you saw it. What was your thought on how that played out?
Yeah, I mean, I could say this. I didn't see Chase Young, win like that against other offensive linemen. At the same time, I didn't see Trevor Penning lose like that to other defensive linemen. So you can look at it either way. But in any case, it wasn't what Trevor Penning needed for the day. Because he had also gotten into a fight earlier in camp, like earlier in the day, him and Nathan Shepard mixing it up a little bit. Willie Gay kind of involved on this Jamal Williams run. But it just felt like that fight happened, and then Trevor Penning mentally saw a little bit of a dip in practice. And I think, to me, that's the part that's most concerning. Get beat in the pass rush game and get beat in the pass block game all you want. Fine. You're gonna experience that over the course of camp. But not being able to show sort of the mental fortitude of being able to work your way through what was a little bit of a scuffle, that, to me, is the more concerning part. And maybe I'm overinflating it. That's totally fine. I would completely understand that. But it just felt like it was more about Penning in that situation than it was about Chase Young, and for me, that's a little bit concerning.
Who had a good day?
Jake Haener, Spencer Rattler both had good days, but I'll highlight the guys that caught their passes. Kevin Austin looked really good. Beat a couple of players. Actually, ended up beating Kool-Aid McKinstry on the outside for a deep pass, probably about 40-plus yards downfield. Down the left. Then he ended up beating Rico Payton for a couple of plays that were touchdowns and an extra point in this end-of-game simulation led by Spencer Rattler. Then you go to the other side of it, and Samson Nakua again stood out as the contested catch guy. Big-bodied dude, just really has the ability to go up and get it. He ended up catching this big touchdown from Jake Haener in his end-of-game drive. His was about 1:40 left on the clock, had to march all the way from the opposite 35. And Nakua just made a big old catch. Big leaping catch, came down hard on the ground, but got up just fine for the touchdown. So those guys and Cedric Wilson were big standouts for me, and it was good to see that from the wide receiver depth, which is a big part of what I'm excited to see this weekend.
I'm glad you mentioned Kool-Aid because I was going to ask about the rookies because we just haven't talked outside of Fuanga. I'm not sure we've talked a ton about him, Ross. Are any rookies catching your eye?
Yeah, I mean, Kool-Aid's been the guy that has caught my eye. I'll be honest, I thought he had a little bit of a struggle, like a little bit of a struggle day today. But for the most part, him and Fuanga have been the two guys that have been the most consistent rookies for me. And up to a certain point, I considered Kool-Aid McKinstry the best rookie of the class. Now, bear in mind, we haven't been able to see Jalen Ford. We haven't been able to see Bub Means. But I'll tell you another guy that's really standing out too is Christian Boyd, the late 6th-round pick defensive tackle. Just looks built to stop the run and performs that way too. And so, losing a guy last year like Malcolm Roach, who was a really good run stopper, one of the better run stoppers in the NFL last year from the position, and losing him to Denver, if I remember correctly, that's a big loss in that area of the game where the Saints took a dip in terms of their run, their run defense and the production there. A guy like Christian Boyd, I think, can help you there, and he's been really, really consistent and really impressive all camp.
He is Ross Jackson, Locked On Saints. If you're not subscribed to the podcast, what are you waiting on? It's the best time. I mean, the year's getting started. He's been out in Irvine the whole time. Locked On Saints podcast, and, of course, part of our team as well now with LouisianaSports.net. Excited for that launch. Hopefully coming next week, a go-live date. We'll push the button. Hopefully next week we'll let you know when it happens. Ross, have a great weekend, man. We'll look forward to talking to you on Monday, recapping everything we see Saturday out in Arizona.
Absolutely, buddy. Looking forward to it. Take care, stay safe, and I'll talk to you soon.
That is the one and only Ross Jackson. We appreciate him for taking some time with us. It's After Further Review. We're brought to you by Optimize, GeneratorPeople.com, GeneratorPeople.com. If you're thinking about a Generac automatic home standby generator and thinking, who should I call? You need to call Optimize. Look, there are a lot of companies that sell generators. I mean, a generator is a commodity. There's a lot of different companies that sell the exact same product. So how do you know who to choose? Well, there's a reason why Optimize is Louisiana's #1 Generac dealer. Because when you call Optimize, you're going to talk to a person. Their customer service is exceptional. They have financing options that meet any budget with a $600 down payment. They have upfront pricing where the price that they quote you is the final price. That's it. And did I mention the only thing they do is generators? That's really the differentiator. Oh, there's a lot of companies that sell generators, but they're not an AC company that has a generator division. They're not an HVAC company that also dabbles in generators. They're a generator company. That's all they do. They have the inventory. Their technicians, they service and install these Generac automatic home standby generators all day, every day. So they know what to look for, how they function, all of it. They're just the best. It's Optimized. GeneratorPeople.com, GeneratorPeople.com. Go to the website, GeneratorPeople.com, to get started. It's Optimized. Oh, they service the entire 10-12 corridor, too, by the way. Lake Charles, Slidell, everywhere in between. GeneratorPeople.com. All right, y'all. Been a really good show. Thanks for being here with us, man. Appreciate Fred LeBlanc, John Griffith from Cowboy Mouth. We're here last hour. Pretty cool. They're going to be playing at Texas Club tomorrow. Part of Eagle 98.1 Back to the 90s show. Very cool. Excited to help support that. And going to be an awesome, awesome, awesome night. So hopefully a lot of you can get out there. $15 tickets. Get 3 great bands headlined by Cowboy Mouth. First 100 people get an Eagle 98.1 T-shirt. Custom T-shirt that they made with the Nirvana Nevermind sort of smiley face logo. So if you want to check that out. Let's see. Oh, all right. We're going to break. When we come back, we do a bit here called Feigned Indignance over random summertime list, and we have imaging for it and everything that we do where I pretend to be upset about something that really there's no reason to be upset over. This is one, though, where I kind of, I don't know. I'm peeved. I'm peeved-ish. So we'll get to that. It's AFR.
AFR.
AFR is brought to you by Darren James and Associates, brokered by LPT Realty. Y'all check out the all-new agent225.com, agent225.com. If you haven't gone to the website yet, I tell you every day and have told you for years, Agent225, every home listed by every company, all in one place, agent225.com. Well, Darren is now, they've renovated the website, and it's even better now with more bells and whistles. But the thing that differentiates it is this is one website where you can get every home listed by every company all in one place. It is so user-friendly. It's agent225.com. And, of course, we always tell you about the greatest realtor and greatest local team in Louisiana. It's not my opinion. It's a fact. Darren James, #1 on the Wall Street Journal Real Trends list of the top realtors in Louisiana, #13 in America. It's agent225.com. Go to agent225.com. You need to sell your home. You need the best. You need Darren James.
Think real estate. Think Darren James. Bayou Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram is taking $20,000 off new 23 Ram 1500 trucks. We're open for business in our beautiful new showroom and taking $20,000 off the powerful Ram truck. All new Bayou vehicles come with a 7-year, 100,000-mile warranty. The crew at Bayou Automotive is going to do right by you.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals, but many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
There it is, the extra mile, on the border of expected and extraordinary for those willing to go further, like vans customized for work or play, with safety and tech to keep you connected, supported by a 5-star sales, service, and finance team, and backed by the 1-star you know. So go the extra mile. It's never crowded, because so few have what it takes to go there. Mercedes-Benz Vans.
Breck teamed up to reimagine your parks, and you imagined big. With your help, we went to work, creating 12 beautiful community parks across the parish. A family-sized water park, miles and miles of trails, and parks just for your dogs. There are more places to splash, to explore, to run wild, and even soar. You imagined, we delivered. Gold. Breck, your #1 park system in the nation.
Electricity is all around us, and our families depend on it. Every day is sparked by the power of a cold drink or a warm meal, a movie night, and a comforting light at the end of a dark hallway. From sunrise to sunset, playtime to bedtime, our team is ready to take care of your electrical needs. Even in the case of an after-hours emergency, the light in your life shines brighter with Mr. Electric.
There's nothing chill about a hot, sweaty line. Unless you add Mountain Cold Refresh.
After further review with Matt Moscona.
I just love Cowboy Mouth so much. It's gonna be so much fun, man.
I can tell. I
they're
can
great
tell,
band.
man.
They're just it's all energy, it's all fun. They're awesome. Just such a part of my life, man. I mean, during that time of your life, like high school, college, they were always there. I mean, I've seen Cowboy Mouth 100 times. They're a jazz fest every year. There used to be a thing in downtown Baton Rouge called Bon Fete, which you won't remember, but it was like when Baton Rouge had its 300th anniversary. Cowboy Mouth headline Bon Fete. I mean, they've always been there, man. That's why I'm stunned you've never heard of them. I mean, it's just they're everywhere all the time. And they're so much fun. Anyway, here's the shirt that they're giving away. Taylor, can you pull this up? This is what I've been referencing. So it's an Eagle 98.1 shirt. The first 100 people at the Texas Club are getting this shirt. Eagle 98.1, the rock station, has got their Nirvana drunk smiley face logo there. So if you want to check it out, you do that. They'll be selling them too, but the first 100 people are getting one for free. $15 ticket to see Cowboy Mouth, 2 other great bands at the Texas Club on Friday night. All right, it's after further review. Thanks for being here with us. It's watch list season. We know that. I don't really get too bent out of shape about watch lists like we always talk about. It's more of a concern. Like, I don't really care if your player is on the watch list. It's kind of usually more of a concern if your player is not on the watch list because there are usually so many people, so many players on the watch list that it's kind of just everybody. So if your guy's not on it, it's a concern. Well, the Davey O'Brien Award put out their watch list, and the Davey O'Brien is the best quarterback in college football, as you well know, and Jaden Daniels won this a year ago. Well, they've got on the Davey O'Brien list 26 players alphabetically. Joey Aguilar from Appalachian State, Drew Allar from Penn State, Rocco Beck from Iowa State, Carson Beck from Georgia, Byron Brown from South Florida, Brady Cook, Jalen Daniels, Jackson Dart, Kyron Drones from Virginia Tech, Quinn Ewers from Texas, Noah Fafita from Arizona, TJ Finley from now at Western Kentucky, by the way, left Texas State at Western Kentucky. DeQuan Finn at Baylor, Brett Gabbert at Miami of Ohio, Dylan Gabriel, Garrett Green at West Virginia, Seth Hennigan from Memphis, Will Howard, KJ Jefferson, who's now at UCF, Mikey Keene at Fresno, Haynes King, who's now at Georgia Tech. That's a weird one. Cade Klubnik at Clemson, Riley Leonard at Notre Dame, Grayson McCall now at NC State, of course. Jordan McLeod at Texas State, Kyle McCord is now at Syracuse. Graham Mertz, Jalen Milroe, Cam Rising, and Will Rogers. That's your list. Those are the 26. So the notable omission, of course, was there was no Garrett Nussmeier. And I kind of get it. I'm not gonna like yell and scream and complain about Nussmeier being left off that list. I mean, even the guys whose name you don't know are like proven starters. Like Jacob Zeno from UAB, for example. Last year, he threw for 3,100 yards and 20 touchdowns. He's at least a proven starter. Jordan McLeod from Texas State, this is his fourth place. He was at USF, Arizona, and then last year was at James Madison. Last year, James Madison threw for 3,600 yards and 35 touchdowns. Like, okay, whatever, fine. Garrett Nussmeier has the 8th best Heisman odds. Heisman. Las Vegas odds makers give Garrett Nussmeier the 8th best Heisman odds. But he's not one of the 26 quarterbacks on the watch list for the Davey O'Brien. I mean, whatever. Okay. I get it. Representation. I'm not super mad about that. I am very excited about Garrett Nussmeier, however. And I think that continues to show. And Joe Sloan has continued to say that as well. And we talked about Nuss with Sloan yesterday. Talked about Nuss going into his first year as a starter.
He processes information really quickly, and then he has the arm talent to get it to that place and the creativity, right? The growth over the last several years and just being process-oriented. That's what I've been really proud of him. He's been really focused on his process. He's been focused on little things and allowing the big things to happen. That's been really the things that I've enjoyed watching him, and then I've watched him grow as a leader this offseason and how he's really been able to let it happen naturally and let his work speak for itself, but also be the vocal leader right when he needs to be. But we're going to put him in positions to use that arm, to use his decision-making ability. But, you're going to see a lot of the same things, and then we're always going to build it around our personnel. But I think you're seeing our offense start to come together around him schematically.
It's going to be a lot of fun to watch. Garrett Nussmeier not on the Davey O'Brien preseason watch list. I get it. He started one game in his career, so I kind of understand it. Everybody else on that list is a proven starter. I'd be more interested in being on the list at the end of the year. So we'll see as the season goes along. All right, it's after further review. There was one thing that did peeve me a bit that I do want to talk about. It's more of a, it's almost a disbelief. But I'll get to that in a second. Quick reminder about Parish Restoration. Kill mold, remove odor. Been telling you for years now. But of course, friend Jim Woodworth merged his company with Terrio and Tilly with Parish to create Parish Restoration. So it's all under one umbrella. You go to parishbuilt.com, and hit the restoration tab, and you'll see all the info you need right there. If it's a single-family residential home to the largest commercial building in the state, they literally dry fogged one of the largest buildings in the entire state of Louisiana. You want to kill mold, remove odor, have that clean, fresh smell, they can do it. It's Parish Restoration. Go to parishbuilt.com, parishbuilt.com. Y'all, we live in the mold capital of the world. It rains, and then it's humid. It's a breeding ground for mold. If you have mold or think you want to knock it out affordably and conveniently, it's Parish Restoration. Parishbuilt.com, parishbuilt.com. So, earlier today, I was actually a guest on SiriusXM SEC This Morning with Caroline Fenton and Chris Doering. And had I known that that Chris Doering had put out this here little list, I might have taken him to task on air. Now, it would be impolite to go on someone else's show and be rude to them, but I might have had to do that to Doering. Doering's one of the greatest receivers in the history of the SEC. He's awesome and a great guy, and I think the world of Chris personally, professionally. So this isn't in any way a knock there, but Chris Doering apparently went on the SEC network and was asked to list his top 10 SEC. Can you get the feigned indignance thing, please? Chris was asked to list his top 10 wide receivers from the SEC of the last decade. So go over the last 10 years and list your 10 best receivers. So we do feigned indignance.
And now it's time for Feigned Indignance from Sports Talk Radio Guy over random summertime sports lists.
And this is just like, it's just trolling, right? That's what that segment is. It's just trolling. It's, I pretend to be completely incensed over something that really doesn't matter at all, only to see how many people will not get that it's a joke. This I'm actually a little perturbed about. I'm miffed. So, and not the entire list, but one thing in particular. So Doering has his top 10, and he's got Devontae Smith at the top, which why not? He's great. He's a wide receiver, won the Heisman. Jamar Chase, Amari Cooper, Justin Jefferson, A.J. Brown, Elijah Moore, Jerry Jeudy, Malik Neighbors, Calvin Ridley. No problem. That's the top 9. I have no problem with any of that. Put them in a bag, shake it up, pull out whatever order you want. They're all great. He's got Ladd McConkey on the list. I mean, maybe it's just Doering was a walk-on. He's a white guy receiver who had to work really hard and is awesome. And so he looked at little Ladd McConkey and was like, "Hey, little Ladd McConkey, let's throw him a bone and put him on the list." But in what reality would anybody put Ladd McConkey and stand him next to Brian Thomas Jr. and go, "Yeah, give me Ladd"? Anybody? Where was Brian Thomas drafted?
He went into the Jaguars at 23, I think.
First round, right?
First round.
Pretty good. Where was Ladd McConkey taken?
Mid-second, right?
Yeah, whatever. Rams, I think, something like that. Okay.
Chargers.
If I brought Ladd McConkey and Brian Thomas in this room right now and said, pick, who are you taking? I don't care where you went to school. Who are you taking?
Brian Thomas.
You're an idiot if you don't. Hey, I got an idea. Let's bring Luther Burden in here. Anybody want to take Luther Burden or Ladd McConkey? Who would you take, guys?
Luther Burden. I'm going to take Luther Burden.
Yeah, really?
Yeah.
How about let's go with another, this ain't anti-Georgia. Let's go to Georgia. Give me George Pickens. Let's get George Pickens in here, huh? How about that? If I bring George Pickens and stand him up next to Ladd McConkey and say, who you want? You want George Pickens? You want Ladd McConkey?
I want the 6'5" guy.
Yeah, no kidding, right?
Give me Pickens.
I'd take Tre'Davious Green today over Ladd McConkey. Give me a freaking break, Ladd McConkey. Oh, I know when I'm here. Oh, he's a great route runner. Crisp, clean, got top-end speed. Like, get out. Ladd McConkey's 5'4". He ain't never do nothing, Ladd McConkey. Get out of here. The Ladd McConkey apology. Top 10 over the last decade? If you sat me down for an hour with no computer device, anything, said, Matt, give me a list of the top 10 receivers from the SEC the last decade. I'm going to come up with a long list. And Ladd McConkey would have never entered my consciousness. Not once. Anybody, am I missing this? Y'all love Ladd McConkey?
No, I wouldn't have picked Ladd. No.
The Georgia effect is you have NFL rosters playing college football and it allows little dudes like Stetson Bennett, who are 27 years old, to spin touchdowns to wide open receivers, and little dudes like Ladd McConkey to run around and make plays. Ladd McConkey. Good player. Really good player. Hopefully he has a great career with the Rams. Top 10 in the SEC in the last decade? Who in the hell would take... How about Deebo Samuel? Ladd McConkey or Deebo? I'm going to bring Deebo Samuel in here. Deebo, he's a pretty good player, right?
Yeah.
He was pretty good at Carolina, wasn't he?
He was awesome.
I'm going to bring Deebo Samuel, put him next to Ladd McConkey. Who you taking?
I'm taking Deebo.
Deebo Samuel.
What in the world? What is Doering smoking? Last time I talked to Doering, he was going to a Dave Matthews concert. Maybe he was high at Dave Matthews when he did this.
Could have been.
Maybe.
I mean.
Doring. I talked to Chris this morning. I wish I had known this.
Yeah.
Somebody make sense of this for me.
I'm trying.
They're throwing him a bone?
I guess.
I got an idea. I'm going to bring Jalen Hyatt and Lad McConkey. Remember Jalen Hyatt, who in a Hendon Hooker year had like a bajillion touchdowns and every one of them was 70 yards? Jalen Hyatt or Lad McConkey?
Hyatt.
Who was the other guy on Tennessee that year?
Oh, was it? Oh.
No, Cedric Tillman.
Tillman.
I'm probably taking Cedric Tillman.
Tillman, Lad McConkey.
Tillman.
Was Jordan Matthews in the SEC in 2014, if you go back a decade?
He may have been.
Let's see.
So we're going back 10 years, so we got to go back 2014. Was Jordan Matthews in the SEC in 2014?
His draft year was the second round of the 2014 draft. So
all right, so no.
So
it doesn't qualify.
Laquan Treadwell?
I'm going.
He was at Ole Miss in 14, wasn't he?
Treadwell was drafted in. No, Treadwell's part of the third. Well, did he sign in 13?
Let's see. I thought he was on that 14
Here's
team
the
for Ole
point.
Miss.
Yeah, look it up, please. He might have been in the 13 signing class.
NFL draft 2016.
Yeah, so Treadwell was in that signing class with Kemdichi and Tunsil and all those guys in 13. So yeah, Laquan Treadwell or Lad McConkey.
I'm taking Treadwell.
You want to go all day? Let's go all day.
Xavier Legette, who just got drafted.
Xavier Legette, Lad McConkey. Anybody taking Lad?
No.
How about Darunya Wilson? Was he there? Was he in? When he was there because he was there with Dak in 14.
Yeah.
Bear Wilson, Lad McConkey.
Yeah, it's just not going to be Lad. No.
What in the world? I would take Russell Gage over Lad McConkey. Russell Gage has turned into be a hell of an NFL receiver.
DJ Chark.
I'd take any LSU receiver over the last decade over Lad McConkey. Terrace Marshall over Lad McConkey.
Oh, yeah.
LSU's number 3 from the 2019, I would take in a millisecond over Lad McConkey. And this is going to sound like Lad McConkey hate. He's a good player. But top 10 in the league over the last decade? He wasn't top 10 in the league last year.
No, he wasn't.
Man. What in the world? Arkansas have anybody in that run? All them dudes?
God, I thought that guy who wore number 1. What was his name?
Oh, no. Here you go. Traylon Burks.
7. Yeah, Burks. 7.
Traylon Burks. Traylon Burks or Lad McConkey. What?
Traylon
Burks, the first round
He's
pick?
a first round pick.
Yeah, he was the first round pick.
Traylon Burks. Top 10 Doring. Like, did he just do that to troll us all?
Probably. I mean, he has to, right? I mean, because it's...
I want to call him. And not even on air. I want to call him in real life. I want to fly down to Gainesville, Ocala and get an Uber to Doring's house and really hash this out with him.
Yeah, it doesn't make a lot of sense.
Lad McConkey. What? Good, really good college football player. Guy got drafted by the Rams. He's going to be a really good 4 or 5 for them. I'm certain of it. Yeah, I guess y'all didn't get that. That was a dig. But anyway.
Well, yeah, no, I mean, he's the fourth. Yeah, I got it.
We're good, guys. We're good. Lad McConkey. How many reps at LSU you think Lad McConkey would have gotten with Chase and Jefferson and Marshall? And
not many.
That kid's transferring.
Yeah.
Lad McConkey. And his name is Lad McConkey.
It's the McConkey that really. I mean,
I don't know. 2 Ds.
I think it's a Lad.
It ain't any better.
Dude, Jalen Waddle.
Henry Ruggs. God bless. I know Ruggs is in prison and it's a tragedy, but Jalen Waddle and Henry Ruggs. Would anybody take Lad McConkey over Jalen Waddle and Henry Ruggs?
No.
What
Not even
Doring?
close. No.
It calls into question your credibility when you put Ladd McConkey on that list against all the first rounders we've just mentioned. Ladd McConkey. Oh, Doring. I gotta talk to Doring. I gotta talk to him. We gotta have a convo. I'm really late. I told you. Muse, when do I ever get upset over lists? Ever. Like, really?
I could probably count it on one hand. At least this is the one I've been working with.
You remember another one? Like, really mad?
I'd have to think. I'd have to think and actually do research on that. Because it's just rare. It really is rare.
Because I just don't care.
No, we normally use them for like a jumping off point or something.
Yeah, it just doesn't matter.
Yeah.
That's so not absurd. Ladd McConkey.
Stop saying it because
not number 10 in the SEC last year. In the last decade, Ladd McConkey. Every time I say it, I fall deeper into a state of disbelief. I wouldn't believe it if I didn't see it right there on the screen. Maybe he was misquoted.
It could have been.
It's AFR.
AFR.
You'll never find Ladd McConkey at Rouse's. Tell you that much. All you'll find is first rounders of groceries. That's Rouse's, the official supermarket of the New Orleans Saints. Rouse's.com, Rouse's.com. Get on by and see our friends over at Rouse's. They're awesome. It's Thursday. Want some dinner? How about you walk on into Rouse's, scoop something up. Everybody in the family can have whatever they want, right? You want some grab-and-go sushi? Done. You want a nice Asian bowl? Done. You want some seafood, hot and boiled kiosk, grab-and-go, ready? Done. It's all there for you. Hey, look, maybe you start the weekend early, grab a nice bottle of wine, maybe a six-pack of beer. They got great craft beer, Louisiana beer, and tons of wine to choose from. And they have their Buy 4, Save More program as well. So the more wine you buy, the more you save, so you can try some wines that you might otherwise not grab off the shelf. It's at Rouse's, the official supermarket of the New Orleans Saints. Back to school time, so make sure you stock the kids' lunch boxes with some goodies. From Rouse's, this feels like home.
Gulf Coast Bank and Trust is giving our customers the power to bank anywhere, anytime during this challenging event. And we're right there with you. Our mobile banking app is a smart way to manage your money and time. Gulf Coast Bank and Trust, the bank that cares about you.
Elevate brand visibility, ignite customer engagement with the power of radio and digital advertising combined. Guarantee Digital Media brings the two together as a trusted media partner in Louisiana for nearly a century. Claim your free digital audit at guaranteemedia.com.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals, but many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
Hey, it's Matt Moscona. For years, you've heard me tell you about Insurance Network of Louisiana, helping you find better coverage for less money. But it's not just for your home and auto. They also offer commercial property. So, retail stores, professional offices like doctors, dentists, attorneys, clothing boutiques. Insurance Network of Louisiana can find you better coverage for less money. They service the entire state of Louisiana, and they're local. So call today at 293-0450 or lainsurance.net.
Jerry and Benny Payne began Central Plumbing Company out of their driveway in Tanglewood Subdivision. 50 years later and 4 generations down the road, we continue to serve Baton Rouge and the surrounding areas for all of their plumbing needs. Residential, commercial, industrial, or hospitality, Central Plumbing is here 24/7, 365.
We want to thank our customers, family, and friends for 50 years of success.
And looking forward to 50 more.
Gulf Coast Office Products is a nationally recognized Savin office equipment dealer based right here in Louisiana. Over 100 employees strong, Gulf Coast has the boots on the ground to support all vertical markets from education, engineering, legal, and finance. With the latest in office technology, from desktop to production segment units, Gulf Coast and Savin have the perfect fit for you. Call 225-756-2644. That's 756-2644 for Gulf Coast office products.
Farming is a way of life for us. It's not something we get up in the morning and dread going do. It's just something we go to bed at night looking forward to getting up to go do. John Deere equipment is what we as farmers strive to have. It's in your blood, it's in your veins. It's just a part of who you are. Green is what we want to be in. The other tractors were acquired to patch it up to get to where you want to be, where we want to be.
My eyelids said 4:30, but the radio clock said 6, and I was thinking of a reasonable excuse.
After further review with Matt Moscona.
Shout out to Richie Burt. By the way, big Cowboy Mouth Day today. Let me hear a little bit, Muse. This will get me in a better mood after listening to, I'm talking about Chris Doring's Lad McConkey praise. Oh, my God. Send that clip to Marler to turn that into a short. Like, that's going to, I mean, I'm not even trying to knock Lad McConkey. He's a fine player. To try to claim Lad McConkey's a top 10 receiver in the SEC of the last decade is fundamentally absurd. By the way, Richie Burt sent a text. Remember we were watching the U.S. beat Serbia?
I remember
earlier.
Comeback effort.
And it looked like Serbia called a timeout when they didn't have it.
They did.
And you made he's like, hey, Chris Webber.
Yep.
Richie Burt. How's Musso going to know a Chris Webber reference and doesn't know that Pete Sampras ever existed?
Well, what's the guy's name? What's his name?
Richie.
There was this incredible documentary done by ESPN called Fab Five. Might have seen
Heard of it.
Might have seen it. Watched it multiple times.
Yeah. You see,
and it happened in Louisiana.
What you just said is that you watched it on ESPN. And any human that has turned on ESPN in the last 30 years at some point would have seen the name Pete Sampras. You're both shaking your heads, and you're both idiots.
I knew
Because
his reference immediately, and I didn't know.
It's stupid to not even know the name Pete Sampras. Do you know the name John McEnroe?
Of course.
Do you know the name Jimmy Connors? You want me to run through golfers from the 1970s and 80s? You'll know their names because they won championships and lots of them. Pete Sampras wasn't just like a guy who happened to win something once. He was literally the great, like the most decorated champion ever at the time of his retirement. To not know his name and to work in sports and to be sports fans is absurd. It's almost as absurd as putting Lad McConkey as number 10 and the top wide receivers of the last decade. Chris Doring, what are you doing?
We came up with more in the break that were better.
What else did we come up with?
John Mechie.
I would take John Mechie over Lad McConkey.
Evan Stewart. We mentioned Evan Stewart.
I would take Evan. He was now at Oregon, but I would take Evan Stewart over Lad McConkey.
We mentioned Jamison Williams, who played with Mechie.
Jamison Williams over Lad McConkey.
Ricky Pearsall.
That one, I'm iffy on that one.
I mean, that's the closest one.
Look at their stats. I bet McConkey had a better. It's weird because we only saw Pearsall for 2 seasons or 1 season at Florida. Did he go 2 seasons at Florida?
2 seasons because we had it. Well, oh, darn. Hold on.
No, I think he was there just 1 year.
No, he was there for 2 years.
2 years? So he went to Florida when Jaden came to LSU.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, 2022.
Because they were both at Arizona State, yeah.
I mean, it's 661 as a junior, 965 last year.
What did McConkey do last year?
Not 965.
Yeah, probably not. Lad McConkey.
You're both Googling.
We
You
are.
decided to have this 30 seconds.
Scone's got the best Google.
Okay, so McConkey, 478 and 2 touchdowns in 2023.
Well, he was also injured.
Okay, the year before he played in 15 games, 762. So Ricky Pearsall's got to be
Pearsall.
Give me Ricky Pearsall over Lad McConkey.
With Graham Mertz.
What is Doring thinking?
Golly.
I bet he just did it to troll us.
He had to. There's no way he actually believes that.
Travis McGraw. No, and I thought about this one, but it doesn't count. Mike Evans was drafted 7th overall in 2014, but he wasn't in the SEC in 2014.
I thought about Mike Evans too.
He didn't play in 2014. Keith Bennett, no one will ever take him seriously again.
Ladd McConkey.
Adrian Landry, Traquan Smith, or Ladd McConkey.
Oh, yeah, Matt.
You get the show, my friend. You get the show. Oh, my gosh. All right. It's after further review. Let's see. Oh, very cool. Thanks to Scott Pataro. He said, how do we get a cowboy mouth shirt? And then he sent me a text. It's the Optimize sign in his yard. He got a generator from Optimize. Shout out, generatorpeople.com. You can get the cowboy mouth shirt at the show tomorrow. The first 100 people at the Texas Club for the cowboy mouth shirt are getting the Eagle 98.1 shirt. So you can get that at the Texas Club tomorrow. If you don't, I think they're going to be selling them too. I dropped my pen. What do I have to do? Michelli weighing and measurement, Michelli.com. Locations all over, not only Louisiana, 6 locations in Louisiana, but locations all over the country. More than 30 locations in a dozen different states. If you weigh or measure something, Michelli sells, services, and rents the products that you use to weigh and measure. ISO 17025 accreditation. Go to the website, hit the services tab on the homepage of the website, and you'll see a list of everything they do, because so commonly people know Michelli because of their scales, but then they go to the website and they see everything that Michelli offers, and that's whenever they're like, oh, I didn't know you did that. It's a great resource. It's Michelli.com, Michelli, Michelli.com, All right, y'all, it's after further review. Been a good show if you missed anything. We talked about the Saints extending Pete Werner, LSU landing a commitment from 4-star safety C.J. Jim Coyley. All that'll be on demand. AFR On Demand presented by Breck Golf. Eddie Kennison was here in hour 2. We're all the Cowboy Mouth bumper music today. We had Fred LeBlanc on the show, and John Griffith as well from Cowboy Mouth last hour. Really fun chat with those guys. They'll be playing the Eagle 98.1 Back to the 90s show Friday night at the Texas Club in Baton Rouge. Tickets are just $15. That's our sister station. We're happy to help them promote it, and I got an opportunity to talk to Fred LeBlanc. So, yeah, I'm fired up about that. All right, y'all. Any more? Any other receivers? Text me. I don't think Heath Savoy said CeeDee Lamb, but CeeDee Lamb was at Oklahoma. That's not in the SEC.
Doesn't count.
It doesn't count. It's doesn't count. Play in the SEC in the last decade. Who else? Patrick email. Did you say Ladd McConkey? He spelled out Ladd McConkey. Yeah. I'd like to thank Dorian.
We mentioned Van Jefferson in his time at Florida.
Yeah, I don't know that I would.
He's a better pro than
he was also at Ole Miss, so he's an Ole Miss Florida guy. He was two SEC school guy. I mean, McConkey was a nice player, but what am I missing? It really feels like you just had to throw one out there he just had to throw it in there just to beat. I've belabored the point enough. We got a break. We got to wrap up the show. How about the Otter?
It's hot, man.
Otter, was it a 3-0 or 4-0 night? Because he gave us 3 less than Francais today.
He went 4-0.
Otter, the 4 picks he gave us, went 4-0. It was about time. Let's get back on the horse with the Otter. Let's see what he's got for us. Otter Locks is next. It's AFR.
AFR.
AFR is brought to you by River City's 1 Hour Air, where they're always on time, or you don't pay a dime. 752-0001, 752-0001, 752-0001, or 1hourbr.com. Hey, if that Home Central AC isn't blowing cold, if having trouble keeping up with all the warm weather, if you're having issues with your AC, you can trust River City's 1 Hour Air. Look for the big yellow vans and trucks with the giant clock on the side. 752-0001, 752-0001, or 1hourbr.com. You can spell it out. Remember, when you call River City's 1 Hour Air, you're always going to get a living, breathing human person that's going to answer the phone, and the technician is always on time, or you don't pay a dime. They have a time to be at your house. If they're 1 minute late, you don't come out of pocket 1 cent. They value your time. They value your money. They want you to be comfortable with the contractor coming to your house. That's where you get a call, text, and an email alerting you when the technician's on the way with name, photo, and reviews of that technician. They're just the best. It's River City's 1 Hour Air.
Bayou Ford has the new inventory to get you in a new Ford truck or SUV today, or customize your next vehicle just the way you want it. All new Bayou Ford vehicles come with a 1 million mile powertrain warranty. The crew at Bayou Ford is going to do right by you.
When it comes to ending cancer, we push forward, always working together for you. That's why our cancer experts at Ochsner have clinically integrated with MD Anderson Cancer Center. This means advanced cancer care, including access to life-saving clinical trials and integrating care to treat the whole you. Introducing Ochsner MD Anderson Cancer Center. Long live you.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals. But many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
Dylan Cruz here to tell you about Six Rings Baseball and Softball Camp. If you live on the North Shore and play ball, go to Six Rings Camps with former LSU assistant coach Dan Canaveri. His knowledge is second to none, and your child will improve and have fun doing it. Camps were held at Coquille Park and Six Rings Academy in Covington with 4 sessions over the summer. Full day and morning only sessions are available from ages 7 to 13. Go to sixringsbaseball.com or call 985-206-9096. Learn the game to love the game.
There it is, the extra mile, on the border of expected and extraordinary, for those willing to go further, like vans customized for work or play, with safety and tech to keep you connected, supported by a 5-star sales, service, and finance team, and backed by the 1-star you know. So go the extra mile. It's never crowded, because so few have what it takes to go there. Mercedes-Benz Vans.
After further review with Matt Moscona.
Taylor, say it.
DK Metcalf.
DK Metcalf! For Lad McConkey!
It keeps getting worse.
It
keeps getting worse.
Go to Otterlocks.
Otterlocks, presented by Lofton Staffing Services. At Lofton, we put people to work. Call us today at 924-0200 or go to lofton.jobs.
Otter!
Oui, bonjour.
Give him 4 dings. Give the man his dings. Give it to him. 4 bells. For whom the bell tolls, that's 3. And I'll thank you very much. The Otter, 4 and He gave us the Cardinals. He gave us the White Sox, the Tigers, and the Mets. Wait, I think did I get it right?
No, the White Sox.
I got something out of order. Anyway, we got them all. Otter nailed it. Let's keep it going.
I mean, if you want to sprinkle in a little francais.
Yes, francais. That's where is my? I screwed something up, Otter. Yes, I read the wrong ones. Maybe that was just the MLB pick. Sorry.
Yeah, we Tariq Skubal got us the win in Seattle last night. That was my favorite. Had a little plus money. And St. Louis Cruz last night. And then Francais, bonjour.
Yeah.
Yes.
Baguette. He just said baguette.
Escargot.
A croissant.
When Charlie was, eating Pizza Hut because he was fatigued on our Dublin, London, Paris trip.
Yeah.
We took a picture right next to the Mona Lisa. We're cultured like that. So anyway, he was eating Pizza Hut. We were eating at Legend de la Presse. Oh yeah.
And Hanny's eating pizza.
Hey man, look. That's the way the cards were dealt, big boy. Let's go.
All right, let's get it going. Here we go.
All right, St. Louis. I like them. We like the sweep, so unless something kind of catches my attention otherwise. So
1 minute remaining.
Is okay. We're going to go with the Cardinals at a modest number again. Matthew at home tonight in St. Louis. Man, the Arizona Diamondbacks are playing good, but man, Jordan Montgomery is struggling. He's a lefty. You know that, former Yankee. And the Phillies are one of the best hitting teams against left-handers. Over 10 tonight, Philly and Arizona.
I'm looking at 10.5. We still like it?
Yeah, geez, boy, you always get that hook, huh? You like canning, huh? Do you know my friend Charlie?
Is that it?
That's it. Yeah,
All right.
2 tonight.
St. Louis on the money line and Diamondbacks Phillies over 10 or 10.5 if you got it. Where are you tomorrow? Oh, Friday. Rufino's.
Oh, Rufino's. Au revoir, monsieur.
Au revoir. Au revoir. Muse, Taylor, thanks. We'll see you tomorrow.
AFR.
As we get on down the road, remind you about South Point Volkswagen, southpointvw.com. New and certified pre-owned in Baton Rouge and online at southpointvw.com. Hey, if you're shopping for a new vehicle or might be, put Volkswagen on your list. That's all I ask you to do. I'm not telling you to run out and buy one today. I'm just saying put it on your list. If you've never thought about a Volkswagen, do what I did more than a decade ago. When South Point was interested in us doing an endorsement, I said I want to drive every vehicle. So I drove every single model that they had. We did videos of it. I think they're probably still on the internet. Blew me away. Style, feel, performance, all of it. Great cost. Great value. Safety features, which means so much to me now, especially having Drew in the car with me all the time. I know I'm driving one of the safest vehicles on the road, and the great German engineering manufactured in the U.S. of A. If you've never driven a Volkswagen, put it on your list and go see our friends at South Point Volkswagen. Airline just north of Highland or online at southpointvw.com. Southpointvw.com. South Point Volkswagen. What's your direction?
Bayou Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram is taking $20,000 off new 23 Ram 1500 trucks. We're open for business in our beautiful new showroom and taking $20,000 off the powerful Ram truck. All new Bayou vehicles come with a 7-year, 100,000-mile warranty. The crew at Bayou Automotive is going to do right by you.
Jerry and Benny Payne began Central Plumbing Company out of their driveway in Tanglewood Subdivision. 50 years later and 4 generations down the road, we continue to serve Baton Rouge and the surrounding areas for all of their plumbing needs. Residential, commercial, industrial, or hospitality, Central Plumbing is here 24/7, 365.
We want to thank our customers, family, and friends for 50 years of success.
And looking forward to 50 more.
When it comes to ending cancer, we push forward, always